Does it allege that anyone acted intentionally or recklessly at any time? The drugstore chain says it neither admits nor denies the SEC's allegations that the firm and its former top executives acted negligently. The SEC said both executives also consented to the order without admitting or denying their findings. Wasson and Michelon did not immediately respond to a request for comment from Reuters. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Reflecting on the persistent troubles it caused his sibling during childhood, local doctor Daniel Barrett told reporters this week about his average-looking brother, Kevin, who first inspired him to be a cosmetic surgeon.
As a kid, I remembered thinking that there was nothing I could do for Kevin. Watching someone you really love and care about suffer from a weak jawline or unsymmetrical features, it had a major impact on me.
And in this week's local news, a community theater gives the part of Blanche Dubois to Kathy Hamilton. In other news, a moviegoer manages to sneak candy past a teenage usher earning $7 an hour. A new app matches you with others in the vicinity who wasted $2.99 on the same app. And a Roman centurion crawling out of a New York City manhole cover is in for one wacky adventure. Having graciously spread my knowledge to the uneducated masses, I now return to the stately, elegant ranks of News Announcer Society. For more, keep checking theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you're invited to join us here on the radio waves. You can take control of those airwaves toll-free, bring up whatever's on your mind. If you like, those numbers are available to you at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Or jump into our Discord on-air call-in line rooms at discord.lrn.fm, and that's a way you can get on the air and sound almost like you're in the studio with us. Tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
They're going after one of our own, Mark.
Well, yeah? What's that mean?
They being a group of people calling themselves the Town of Belmont.
All right.
This is a town in the Lakes region of New Hampshire.
Okay.
And they're going after...
It's a group of ordinary people that have...
No, they are not ordinary people. They are men and women who have the ability to take things from others without any kind of real accountability or punishment for that, to threaten other individuals, peaceful individuals, like our longtime listener and supporter, Michael Sylvia, who also happens to be the 2018 Liberty Representative of the Year, State Rep Liberty... something or other like that. Anyway, right. He won the award
from
the
New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is
Representative of the Year, basically, for the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance, which means that he is the top most liberty, according to their rating system, which they rate every legislator in New Hampshire. And there's over 400 state legislators and senators here in New Hampshire. There's 400 reps and 24 senators. Mike is one of the state reps, and he won, and he deserved it. He's long time been an A+ rated rep. And this year he actually got the most coveted, A+ is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
But to be the top Liberty rep, he got it and he deserved it. So congratulations to him. And in order to, punish him
Let's
for
celebrate
all of the good work that he's been doing, because no good deed goes unpunished, the town of Belmont has come at him with threats of $275 per day in fines, which they are trying to levy against him since, I believe, mid-August of this year. So, you do the math. It's already been more than a month since mid-August of this year. So it's a lot of money. That's several thousand dollars already. And they're saying they want him to pay up. They want him to pay attorney's fees. They want him to pay up big time. Why?
What has he done? What is this horrible crime of which he is guilty?
They are alleging, Mark, that he is living on his property.
Uh-huh. That's what I do.
They are alleging that
I live on somebody else's, some entity's property, but all right.
They are alleging that he is living on his property without having asked their permission first. See, the property, apparently, before he purchased it in 2011, there was a main house that burned down.
Okay.
And allegedly, the septic system took damage as well and became inoperable. So the town is alleging that they believe that Mike Sylvia is living in his garage, which did not burn down on that property, and or, depending on the time of year, living in an RV parked next to the garage.
Okay.
In a driveway.
Is that the property he uses to be a state rep in New Hampshire?
From what I've read, it is.
All right, then he's all but admitted that that's the case, right?
Well, I mean, they haven't proven, that he's living there,
Actually,
but of course they're alleging that the town's zoning official was sworn in on the stand at this court hearing. By the way, the video's up the Free Keen YouTube channel if you want to see it.
Okay.
The audio's not that great, but you can make most of it out. So they call up this town bureaucrat, the zoning ordinance guy, and he claims that he has observed Mike Sylvia stepping out of the door of his RV.
Okay.
He has seen that there's been smoke.
People do that. People who have RVs step out the doors of them.
Yeah. Whether they're living in them or not, they do step out the doors of them at times. They could be working in them or whatever. But either way, he also alleged that during the wintertime there were shovelings. There was evidence of shovelings that had happened, shoveling snow. And
people
also
that go into garages that they own shovel that.
They could, especially if they were working out of that garage or something like that. And he also alleged that there was, during the wintertime, smoke coming from a smokestack on the garage.
All right, so people who have garages sometimes heat those garages and go in those garages during the winter, sometimes heat those garages. All right.
And he further drew the conclusion that because Mike had his car parked there at various different times throughout the year, that he is living on the property.
All right.
But regardless of the fact that Mike did not allow the building inspector to come in and inspect voluntarily, so they haven't actually inspected the property. They don't have any proof that the garage has been renovated, which they are alleging that it has. They don't have any proof that he's actually living on the property beyond the fact that, or the allegations that he appears to be there at times. But either way, it shouldn't matter what the facts are in the case.
That's kind of how I feel about this, is if the man wishes to live in the garage or renovate the garage or whatever, the idea that the town should in any way, shape, or form have anything to say about it is really none of anyone's business. I mean, the town shouldn't have anything to say about it. It's not...
Right.
I say the
if
town.
there were freedom.
What I should say is the criminal gang operating as... the town, the people, the nosy men and women operating as the town of what is it? This
town of Belmont,
New Hampshire. But it could be any town anywhere.
Sure could. And the reason why this is newsworthy is because he's a state representative. They may have published this about him if he weren't a state representative, but it certainly makes it more likely that the news media is going to show up and pay attention to this.
Yeah, sure.
We know Mike, and so we're going to talk about it.
As being Liberty Rep of the Year, that means that people that support a more government intervention in everyone's lives consider him their enemy.
Correct. And he is. He's not a violent enemy. He's not a dangerous man. But he's a very smart guy and well-spoken, was successful. He's now retired, so thankfully he has plenty of time on his hands to handle court cases. He's handling his own case. He did not have an attorney present with him in court this week. I think it was Wednesday when the hearing was. And so we got full video of that hearing. It's up right now on the Free Keen YouTube channel. I haven't put up the accompanying article yet because I'm still tweaking that just a little bit. But there's some other interesting facts in the case. So like I pointed out, to me, it doesn't matter whether or not he's living in the garage. Let's say he's living in the garage during the winter, and let's say he's living in the RV during the summertime, for sake of argument.
All right.
So what? If it's his property, then it's his business what he does on that property. Furthermore, under oath, this zoning bureaucrat, the guy from the town, testified that not only did he not receive a single complaint regarding Mike Sylvia's property from...
Okay, I was going to ask that question.
Yeah, from anybody of his neighbors or anybody else in the town.
I looked this house up just to kind of take a look at it on Google Maps and see who was around. And this is not the city, even by New Hampshire standards.
No, he's out in the woods.
Yeah, but that he is surrounded by trees. Yeah. There is a neighbor that's... many trees away.
Stone's throw, maybe.
Yeah, well, yeah. You're going to be able to have to whip a stone to do that. I mean, you could shoot the house if you could get through all the trees, I suppose, but yeah.
So not only were there no complaints from anybody else.
His neighbors aren't as far as the curvature of the earth, all right?
Gotcha. So no neighbors complained here.
Yeah.
Not even anybody across town who might have been like a political enemy of Mike who just wanted to lodge a complaint. Nobody else except... for the town selectmen.
Oh, I see. The super citizens. Gotcha.
So the town selectmen, apparently, when this guy came on board, when this enforcer was hired, informed him that he ought to look at Mike Sylvia's house because they believe that he's
first
in
part
violation.
of the job is to go after the people that, the people that aren't politically connected with us.
Correct.
With the other side, the bad guys.
So that's what's going on here in this case.
So this is harassment of the color of law. The best I can tell.
Official oppression is another term for that.
He could be doing everything that they say.
Yeah.
But the fact that they go after him because of who he is, and presumably that's the case here, then, well.
But, Mark, they are alleging. Now, I'm going to take the other side here. I'm going to take the statist side.
All right.
I'm going to become the prosecutor here for a moment.
You should use a fake German accent. It really works well.
They are alleging that he is pooping on the property.
Okay.
They're saying here, well, he didn't have a permit, not only to occupy this garage or to have an RV and or live in the RV, but further, he doesn't have, to their knowledge, any kind of working septic system.
My dog doesn't have any working septic system either.
More coming up here. Your calls and thoughts are welcome. If you're somebody who supports zoning, because that's where all this comes from, besides the whole, fact the government and the state and all that exists, but the zoning laws are what are empowering them to do this. I say abolish them. Free Talk Live.
From the first letter of Captain Mark. History is full of flowery documents claiming to limit the power of the crown, but these poetic social contracts have been impotent to prevent the predation. Limited government is a lie they use to keep us submissive. The crown cannot be trusted to abide by its founding charters, nor its treaties, nor even its own rules. The essence of the crown is centralized violence, and I've had enough. That's why I raised my black banner. I am no revolutionary. My aim is not to reset the cycle of violence, but to break it. My aim is an evolved society, invisible to the crown, not a new hierarchy, but decentralized networks with no central figure for the crown to target. If you want your servile life, keep it, but we will not submit to the crown's agenda. And when you are ready to stop being its beast of burden, ready for adventure and opportunity, join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They are working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your get intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Toll House Refrigerated Cookie Dough. Who would you bake some love for? Find fun and easy baking ideas at tollhouse.com. Kids love doing arts and crafts projects, especially when you join in. Try channeling all that artistic energy into the kitchen and bake up some creative treats together. Think of your art supplies as the frosting, sprinkles, and decorating gels, and use cookies or cupcakes as your canvas. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Hey, yeah, it's Free Talk Live. It is the live Saturday edition of the program. We're talking about the awful concept of zoning laws, the idea that some group of bureaucrats, some group of strangers, politicians that you don't know get to tell you how you can live. And we're going to continue. Toll-free number if you want to join us, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Also, this program is brought to you by Bitcoin.com. We want you to know about Bitcoin and where all this cryptocurrency craze started. Go to Bitcoin.com, get the history, get started with their Bitcoin Academy over there at Bitcoin.com. Or maybe you're not so new and you just want to get the latest news headlines in the world of Bitcoin and crypto. Just go to news.bitcoin.com. You'll find them there updated every single day. That's news.bitcoin.com. Lots of great features over there, and a lot of them are free. Go to Bitcoin.com. Get started. It's Ian and Mark in the studio here live Saturday nights. We're going to your phone calls and thoughts, but just to briefly recap, a friend of the show, longtime supporter actually, Mike Sylvia. It's the kind of guy who would, whenever we'd see him in real life, he'd slap some pieces of silver and $100 bill into our hands and say thank you for the work that we're doing. So he's one of our longest running supporters, and it's a real honor to have him being the top Liberty-rated rep in the New Hampshire State House by the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance. Wow, just an amazing guy. Ironically, he serves on the Judiciary Committee at the State House. And he found himself in court this week in Belknap County Courthouse, going up against the group of people calling themselves the Town of Belmont in a lawsuit they filed against him to try to get him to pay them a bunch of money because they claim is living in his garage or his RV on what he believes to be his property in this political geographic designation known as the Town of Belmont within this gang's territory.
I think that is worth pointing out here is that the notion that anyone owns any property in the United States is fallacious because ownership is about control. And first off, the town, the county, the state, the feds, they claim a great deal of control over your property. You pick the government agency, whatever it might be. They'll tell you whether you can have the building, whether you can live in the building, whether the building is acceptable in which to live, not to sell to somebody else who may not know that there's something wrong with it, but simply the ability for a grown adult person to inhabit a structure. Is somehow a problem. Now, if that structure's remained the same since 1712, then you can still live in it. But you can't build a structure like the one from 1712. That's a problem. And most importantly, if you don't pay their annual or biannual, in some cases quarterly rent. I'm sorry, property tax, whatever. You can call it what you want.
They're going to come and toss you out into the streets.
But it functions like rent.
Let's go to Carmen on the line in Michigan, especially when you hear from people if they agree with zoning ordinances. Can you defend the status quo? Because it's the status quo in most places to have these ordinances. Carmen, you're on Free Talk Live. You're listening to WCHT there in Escanaba.
Thank you. I've talked to you guys a few times before in
Welcome
the past. Thank you. How I'm against zoning laws and rules. But what I would like to say is, first off, I love the Constitution, and there's 3 amendments that I just really love. They're my favorite: the First, the Second, and the Fourth Amendment. And with this guy, I would say he has the right in the Fourth Amendment to be safe and secure in his home, his person, his papers, and his effects. All government officials take an oath of office to uphold and defend the Constitution.
They sure
They
do,
can be
but
sued. They can be sued. They can be sued if they do not defend the Constitution.
not very
So if they don't-
effectively, sadly. A lot of government bureaucrats have immunity to lawsuit based on these immunity laws that have been passed to essentially make it so they can't be sued or held individually liable for what they do in a lot of ways.
They really hate the idea of liability.
Yeah, but I believe that under the situation where they break their oath of office, that doesn't apply to them then.
I think
The
that's a
community.
fascinating, claim, and I like the idea. I certainly do. I don't. The problem is that the not only is it government bureaucrats that want to search your house, but it's government bureaucrats that are going to sit in black muumuus and arbitrate the dispute between you and the usurpers.
Well, the Fourth Amendment goes on to say that they have to have warrants, and they have to name specifically what they're searching for.
They do.
Either way it goes, if the government officials break their oath of office, in many cases, they can be sued. Some municipalities carry extra insurance for this purpose.
Well, they actually sued him in civil court in this case. So a criminal warrant obviously wouldn't, be utilized in this particular circumstance. And they haven't searched his home. They haven't been able to get him to even meet with them. At one point in the hearing, which again the video's up at the Free Keene YouTube channel. At one point in the hearing, Mike Sylvia, who's the man that they're targeting, the state representative, he asks the town enforcement officer, who kept saying that he invited Mike to meet with him. He said, "Well, am I obligated to meet with you?" And this, unfortunately, the state objected. The state attorney objected, and the judge actually ruled in Mike's favor on that particular objection. But then they just sort of moved on, and Mike didn't press to ask for the answer to that question. He could have gotten it, I think, at that point, because the judge had ruled in his favor on that, but he didn't press the question and the judge didn't re-ask it.
Clearly, he has no obligation.
No, he definitely doesn't have any obligation. It would have just been nice to have the bureaucrat admit that he had no obligation to meet him on the stand. But otherwise, it was a pretty interesting trial. So, Carmen, you're against zoning. I totally agree with you, and it's nice and refreshing whenever I hear about a town that actually doesn't have it. Are there some like that in Michigan where there's no zoning whatsoever?
Not that I know of.
Sorry to hear that.
I would guess that any place that has corporation
that are incorporated.
Maybe the places that are unincorporated may not have those things.
You
I
mean
don't
in
know.
Michigan? Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I happen to know that Houston has no zoning laws. Now, recently, many people are screaming at their radios right now, but Houston flooded, and it did. I mean, there's no doubt. But
so did New Orleans.
Miami floods regularly, and it has plenty of zoning.
Right.
Zoning isn't some kind of force field that keeps water from coming into your community. I mean, I get that it would be really nice to be able to, plan in the future for 100-year floods, but there's no evidence that cities are really doing that, even when they have zoning.
Carmen, I want to thank you for the call and your thoughts tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Mike Sylvia, the guy targeted by the town gang in Belmont, New Hampshire, also cited a couple interesting parts of the New Hampshire Constitution, the Bill of Rights, which I want to share some of that here in a moment because I think it's also relevant. Because he didn't just come at this from the, well, you don't have any evidence, facts of the case standpoint. He also came at this from, hey, hello, Constitution, this thing over here that you guys claim is your supreme law.
Yeah, they don't pay attention to that.
Well, here's what it actually says about, the right to have property. We'll get into that coming up here in a moment. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Can you defend zoning? I want to hear from you.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
The Shire Free Church offers a sanctuary to those seeking an escape from state churches.
The Shire Free Church is an interfaith, diverse group of people that may not share identical theological beliefs. As a member in or minister of the Shire Free Church, you are a sovereign individual and may be the faith of your choice.
We don't claim to have all of the answers.
We are open to all peaceful people.
We want to learn from each other.
What unifies the Shire Free Church and its diverse members is peace,
love,
and liberty. There are many paths to God, one for every individual.
The Shire Free Church does not define a specific path beyond those parameters that must be your foundation.
Peace as your way,
love as your guide,
and liberty as your light.
Learn more at church.shiresociety.com.
That's church.shiresociety.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit shiresociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. We invite you to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. You know, somebody out there within the sound of our voices tonight is a fan of the idea of zoning. And I'm inviting you to call in, pick up the phones. Believe it or not, there's a bunch of open lines. We got room for you. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. I want somebody to explain to me why this idea of zoning is necessary or good. 855-450-3733. And also you can join us on our Discord on-air call-in lines. If you want an upgrade to your call quality, just go to discord.lrn.fm. Grab the Discord app, get that set up, and you will, once you join those call-in lines, we'll join you there, and you'll sound great. By the way, I want you to know about libertystickers.com, because if you don't care about zoning, if you think it's a terrible idea, if you love freedom, then you'll love some of the great bumper stickers available at libertystickers.com. They've got a huge selection of witty, poignant, pithy, and downright bombastic liberty-oriented messages that you can plaster on the back of your car or your RV or whatever it is that you got. libertystickers.com.
Now, why would somebody who supports zoning call in when they could just ring up their local official, skulk in the shadows,
and snitch you out
and get what they want without ever having to pop their head up and say anything? Because really, if you have a problem with what somebody's doing somewhere the first thing to do is to talk to them about it.
Well, that would be a neighborly thing to do, wouldn't it? And exactly what would the problem be? Like, what kind of a person do you have to have a problem with your neighbor living in an RV on their property?
Well, in that case, you're talking specifically about an RV. I mean,
or living in their garage on their property.
Lots of people call zoning things about stuff that, I think are better disputes than somebody choosing to live in a structure on their property that may not have an occupancy permit.
Look, I don't care what kind of stuff you got on your property. I don't care if you got a washer and dryer in the front lawn, 3 cars parked on the grass.
Sure.
I don't care. It's not my property. It's not my business. The neighbors, I've heard some people complain because we got couches on the front porch here at the LRN.FM studios. But I don't care what's on the front porch of my neighbor's property. They've had a bunch of stuff out, and they had a garage sale a week ago, and they've just had stuff in the front lawn the whole time. I don't give a damn. Whatever, it's your lawn, man. Do what you want. Let's go to the phones. Your calls and thoughts are welcome. And you don't have to call in if you just want to defend zoning. You can call in. Maybe you've had a zoning nightmare story you want to tell us. You're certainly welcome to do that too. But my challenge is out there for people that actually like zoning. They think it's a good idea. Those people do exist, but I tend to agree with you, Mark. They probably aren't going to call and actually defend their status quo because they got it. They got their way in most places.
That's how it is, generally.
John, you're on the air, listening in Dover to WDOV in Delaware. Hello, John.
Yeah, hey, guys.
Hey.
About the zoning issue, I originally told the screener I was going to get into a story about how I was fishing over here in this housing development, and the homeowners association is anti-fishing, I guess. And, we had the cops called on us. But then I was thinking while I was on hold, I got one better. I got a friend that's in the construction business, and a few years back, he had bought a couple of houses. They were fixer-uppers down in a town called Milton, closer to the beach.
Okay.
Well, this is an up-and-coming area because it's close to the beach and all that good stuff, so the property value's gone up, and the whole neighborhood around the 3 houses, they fixed it up. So anyhow, the mayor of this town actually owns a house directly across the street from the 3 lots that he owns.
That's always an issue.
Well, he's had it out for my friend ever since he's bought these houses. This mayor's a maniac. He went as far as to have his maintenance guys bury a bunch of, I don't know if you guys know anything about construction. There's material called AZAC. It's used for trim. It's really expensive. And, he was only working on these houses as a side project. The mayor went ahead and had his maintenance guys take a bulldozer and literally bury all the material that was in the side of the yard.
What?
If you want to go ahead and believe a story like that.
Wow. I mean, I do believe it. These people are power sick individuals. I mean, they may just be a mayor of some crappy little town somewhere, but for them, that's their little
Unbelievable.
kingdom.
So he was in the midst of sort of a weekend construction project, and taking many weekends. And
it's been a couple years, but it's his property, and he can take as long as he wants to work on those houses. This guy has no right to do any damage, especially to some other guy's project. Man.
Absolutely. Well, that's because you actually believe in property. Right. I mean, you actually appear to believe in property rights, and as I think most sane people
The mayor doesn't.
do.
He gets to enact power over people's property all the time.
Right. Now, there was one thing you mentioned at the beginning.
The only people that don't believe in property rights are maniacs that have a mental disorder that want to tell other people how to do their own thing. It's ridiculous, man.
Further, they believe they've been elected to do just that, that they've been elected by their fellow busybodies and put in this position of power so they can tell people what to do. And it is a sickness. I do agree with you.
In many cases on the local level,
100%.
no one else would take the job, but they still feel like it's their mission, their mandate, their call from God to bury people's trim.
Hey, John, I did want to address one aspect of your call at the very beginning. You mentioned a homeowners association. That's a little different than what we're talking about with homeowners associations, because in that case, you are talking about a private organization that people are, essentially agreeing to come into when they move into that particular neighborhood that homeowners
association. They sign on for it. You're right, they do.
And that doesn't mean that I agree with homeowners associations. I want nothing to do with them. As far as I'm concerned, that's just another.
Never. You kidding me? There's enough government already. Imagine being a government inside a government. That's what those are, my man.
Exactly. That's exactly right. John, thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate it.
Government for you, bud.
Exactly. Thank you for the call. And then that's why you have what they call neighborhood Nazis in these little. Again, it's their little fiefdom. They get to set a bunch of rules like, how high your grass is allowed to be, or what kind of bushes you're allowed to have, what color paint the houses are allowed to be. I mean, it just never ends with these people. So if that's the kind of world you want to live in, that world exists. Go move into your little gated neighborhood with your guards or whatever it is that you have, and all your little requirements about how. I remember one place, one of the most memorable times when these things became a reality for me was I was just simply parked out in front of a friend's house, visiting briefly that friend down in Florida, and he was
When you say briefly,
huh?
An hour?
Yeah, probably less than an hour.
Okay,
maybe like a half an hour or something like that. But it was after a certain time of day. And apparently there's a no trucks in the driveway rule in this particular neighborhood. So I came out and there was a damn ticket on my car from whatever private enforcement group they had there.
Have to pay it?
No, it was a warning.
Okay.
Right? Like, yep, you're in violation of the homeowners association. You better shape up, mister, or else. Right? Then there'll probably be some sort of an assessment, some sort of, I don't know how that works with homeowners associations.
If they've got you living there and you've agreed to a homeowners association thing, then that your friend, not you, will be on the hook.
Correct. But it was just one example of the myriad of stupid, rules, because somebody doesn't want to see trucks parked out in front of houses.
So when you say
nighttime.
it's a truck, was
a
it
pickup truck?
A pickup truck?
Yeah.
Was it a big pickup truck or a little
Toyota pickup truck?
So
I'm telling you, man,
one of those ordinary little pickup trucks.
Yeah, as ordinary as it can get. There wasn't a work crane coming out of it or something.
This wasn't a Tundra-sized pickup truck. This was a
not even
Tacoma
a Tundra. Yeah, Tacoma.
Yeah. Like a.
I'm telling you, it was so petty.
I think I remember the truck.
Yeah,
so this isn't even when you're thinking about the new Tacomas. Those are kind of big. This is the small old.
This is 1998
Ford Explorer kind of thing.
Tacoma, little pickup.
I don't know.
Just a standard Toyota pickup, man.
Just a little pickup.
That's it.
Man, that's crazy.
So,
thing doesn't even have a V8.
Nope. It's just somebody decided they didn't want to see trucks out in the neighborhood after 6 p.m.
This isn't even a truck. This is the shape of a car.
All right. It's a car with a bed on the back of it. Yeah. The toll-free number here, a little four-banger, right? 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Whether it's petty zoning, targeting, we can talk about stupid homeowners association rules, too, because, again, that's the same crap. It's just a little bit more concentrated in a smaller area. But you get to consent to the homeowners associations, whereas with the government, they shove it down your throat, whether you like it or not, and pretty much anywhere you go, these bureaucrats are going to be there. More coming up here. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. Save AT Purse.com.
Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink, like we have. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening at home anytime, anywhere from your smartphone. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Heart-related health problems affect millions of people each year. Maybe you're one of the many who suffer from issues related to angina pain, high blood pressure, congestive heart failure, unbalanced cholesterol, irregular heartbeat, or clogged arteries. There is a solution that doesn't involve expensive prescription drugs that only mask the problem and leave you with horrible side effects. If you are ready to live your life free of sickness, pain, and fear, live your life with increased vitality, energy, and youthfulness, and experience your body healing itself, then you're ready for Heart and Body Extract from Healthy Hearts Club. Here is what one satisfied customer had to say about Heart and Body Extract regarding his angina pain.
I haven't had an angina pain since I've been on it. The Heart Body Extract is just so great. I thank God that I was led to this product that's doing so much for me and that can do so much for other people.
Call to order your 2-month supply of Heart and Body Extract today. Call 1-866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing. To be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Dial on in here toll free. We're talking about zoning, one of the worst violations of the idea of property rights that happens here in the United States. And it happens on a regular basis. And most of the victims of zoning are completely unsung. They're people who just get a threatening notice, either delivered to them on their door or via certified mail or something like that, to their home, threatening them to say, well, we believe such and such and such and such about your property, and it doesn't conform with blah, 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 this ordinance. So therefore, here's hundreds of dollars a day in fines until you correct the so-called problem, to which you never agreed to follow their rules in the first place. We can continue here. The toll-free number if you want to join us and share your thoughts. And somebody is on the line who claims they are a zoning believer. So I'm going to that call first here, but I want to give out the number. It's 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Also, we do have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. You need the Discord app, so grab that at discordapp.com. And it's available for your smartphone or your laptop, desktop computer, pretty much whatever device you want to put it on. And then you connect to our Discord server. There's a bunch of cool chat rooms in there. There's one about Free Talk Live that's pretty busy, usually when we're on the air. But there's others about, let's say, cryptocurrency and gaming and other topics. So jump on into the Discord chat over at discord.lrn.fm once you get the app and get your username created. That's discord.lrn.fm. Let's go to the phones, to the fun. We've got Rod. He's in Myrtle Beach listening to WRNN. Rod, it says here you believe in zoning. Go ahead.
Yes, I certainly do.
Why?
Could I get a clarification on what you mean by property rights? You're allowed to do anything you want. If you own a piece of property, you're allowed to do whatever you want, and that's what you would like the entire United States to be like.
Oh, I don't care about the whole United States. I'm more concerned with where I live. But yeah, I think that ideally for people who believe in freedom and people who believe in property, because you have to have, property in order to basically have freedom, because you on your property should be free to do the things you want to do, so long as you're not infringing on the rights of another property owner or another individual.
Okay, therein goes the infringing. Let's say you bought yourself a very nice piece of property on the lakefront or on the ocean front. Who cares?
Okay.
You paid a considerable amount of money for it.
Yep.
You built yourself a very nice home.
Okay.
Then all of a sudden somebody buys the property next to you and they put a rendering plant in there. And on the other,
I knew this was coming, man.
It's always the pig farm. So, for one, I'm a pig farmer. And I got some general idea of what that's like. Now, I've recently stopped doing that, bought another property, and moved over there.
Which happens to be on a lake.
Yeah. So I can tell you that the property on the lakes costs significantly more than the property in the woods that, with a little bit of clearing for pigs. As a matter of fact, you don't even really need a clearing. You could just hang pig wire on trees.
Oh, I understand that.
Okay, so economics tends to dictate that there won't be a rendering plant next to the.
Okay, let's say it's not even an expensive piece of property. You bought a piece of property out in the wilderness on a lake, and it's inexpensive.
All right.
But you want the same thing could happen, or somebody.
So there's a highway. There's a nice highway going to this where you can take a large semi full of pigs, pig carcasses to render.
No one said pig carcasses or pigs.
You said a rendering.
I said a rendering plant.
Okay.
But it could be anything.
Right?
What if somebody moved in next door to you and didn't believe in connecting up to a sewer system or even connecting up to a septic system? They just dump their sewage on their property.
Yep. So let's address that. So first off, anything that goes outside of your property is now the problem of your neighbors, right? So if odor is going outside of your property, little particles of whatever it is that you've dumped are now wafting through the air. So you have to address that, right? So you can't stand next to on your property line next to your neighbor's window and play a tuba. At 3 o'clock in the morning, because the sound is going out and striking their eardrums.
Right. So you've got a property rights violation. You've got a tort. You've got a civil lawsuit in that particular case. You don't need zoning to solve this problem.
Right, that's a tort.
Okay, so you buy your property and you've got your children, and all of a sudden next door to you, they open a strip bar. And on the other,
All right, here's what you do, buddy. If you're so damn paranoid about what your neighbors are going to do, you buy a property in a neighborhood that has a homeowners association, and then you're safely located in.
Well, that's not zoning.
There you go, buddy. That's private property. That's where people come together to decide on a set of rules voluntarily.
100% of them came together at one point.
Okay.
Zoning is different than that. Zoning is a set of rules. Zoning is
a different thing.
It's a set of rules that are forced down everybody's throat within a particular geographic area that is
by bureaucrats that were not even elected. They were appointed by elected people, and
so they zone it. They zone it for single property construction, multiple.
They have all kinds of designations.
Oh yeah, they do all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Commercial.
Yeah.
As though they know. As though these bureaucrats know. No, not at all. Because who are these people?
Yeah,
Who do they think they are?
My last house, I bought a piece of property that was zoned commercial, and I built a house on it. My God, are you telling me that the central planners didn't know what the best thing was to put on the property, or that I somehow messed things up?
There are abuses in every system, but by and large, the zoning system, and which is all part of the city planning system.
Yeah, it's all a bunch of crap. The city planning system's a bunch of BS that's foisted upon us by a bunch of hoity-toity, college-educated people who believe they know best how things should be organized. And I'm telling you, they don't know jack.
Degrees, but you got to show me some evidence that cities like Houston are somehow worse than cities like Los Angeles or.
Have you ever been stuck in traffic? There's your city planners in action.
I've been stuck in a lot of traffic. Yeah. I've lived in California.
Guess who created that? Guess who created that? Your city planners.
Oh, my God.
You're brilliant bureaucrats that know best how everything should be organized. Look, the reality is, if you let the marketplace work on its own, like they have for the most part in Houston, which you're talking about there, Mark, then everything self-organizes. It's really amazing.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't self-work.
Explain that, Clint.
If anybody believes that the zoning system or the governmental system on the city or state or federal level isn't fraught with problems, they're wrong. It's fraught with problems, of course.
The problem is that it exists in the first place.
People abuse it.
No, the entire concept is an abuse of property rights. If there's a group of strangers out there telling you you can't do something on property you own, that's evidence you don't actually own the property, isn't it? What did you do for? Are you working? Are you retired?
I work. I own a business, and I'm retired.
Yeah. So you never worked for the government?
Yes, I did work for the government.
What did you do for them?
I was an engineer.
Okay. So you were a government bureaucrat. Not a surprise you support the very system that paid your paychecks.
No.
Not a surprise.
No, I'm also a businessman that has to fight some of the BS.
Well, you created it, buddy, by working for them, by giving them legitimacy.
Well, you say that there are abuses all over the place, and I concur with you. And I get why people want to see a certain amount of control. But and you say that this abuse is wrought with abuse. I mean, the terminology you use is pervasive. You use the term wrought. It's all over the place. If we have a system...
It's at all levels, yes.
That it's on all levels and pervasive. If we have a system that has... abuse that's that invasive, that is wrought with abuse, should it not be destroyed and then you can try something new?
No, it should be cleaned up.
Well, good luck. You've got what it looks like cleaned up. We've hired the best bureaucrats, people like you. We've hired them to go in and make this better, and they can't. Now, I'm not saying these people are evil. These people are very likely as good as you and I.
Are there lousy government workers? Obviously there are. There was lots of them around me.
Yeah, you know why? Because the system. You know why they're lousy workers?
Let him give his answer, please.
The politicians, of course, they're rotten, but you do have good ones too.
Yeah, there's some good politicians.
The zoning system in itself is a good idea. It protects people from other people. Just because you own a piece of property doesn't mean, and you were talking about
people.
As long as it
doesn't protect me from the bureaucrats, though. That's the problem. Is that if some bureaucrat comes on my property and says you can't have, I'm sorry, this new pickup truck you bought, you can't park it in your driveway, then what am I supposed to do? Well, I didn't know that rule, but they said it was true. Well, they're not going to have to pay to go to court. I am.
Yeah.
I'm just enforcing the rules.
Rod, I'm glad you called in. I was surprised that somebody actually did call to defend zoning, which is just an awful violation of people's rights. Thank you for the call. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. We got another hour coming up here, hour 2 next. It is Free Talk Live.
It's been said, Any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years. From My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for the weekend of September 29th and 30th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.65 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,192 per ounce. Zen is trading at $17, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,568. Antiwar.com reports conflicting reports emerged on Friday about negotiations between the Taliban and Afghan governments earlier in the week. Anonymous Taliban officials were quoted as saying such talks took place and ended with an agreement for a prisoner exchange. Indeed, one official suggested that some Taliban had already been released since the talks. Yet, the official Taliban spokesman issued a contrary statement insisting that no such talks ever happened. They also reported that planned talks with the U.S. fell through at the last minute for certain reasons. The Taliban-Afghan talks had been reported to be planned before, with the talks expected, as since reported, as the Afghan government wanted security guarantees for the October election and wanted detained Taliban members freed in return. With conflicting statements and the Afghan government refusing comment, there is no way of knowing whether the talks actually happened or if a deal was struck. Reports of detainees being released are similarly impossible to confirm since the Taliban never made the list of sought releases public. Zencash is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global. UPI reports a Facebook feature that allows users to view their profile the way others would see it allowed hackers potential access to millions of accounts, according to the company on Friday. Guy Rosen, Facebook Vice President of Product Management, says the social network discovered the bug on Tuesday and that it affected as many as 50 million users. Rosen said in a Facebook blog post on Friday, it's clear that attackers exploited a vulnerability in Facebook's code that impacted View As, a feature that lets people see what their own profile looks like to someone else. accounts. This allowed them to steal Facebook Access tokens, which they could then use to take over people's accounts. Tokens allow users to remain logged into Facebook so they don't have to keep re-entering their passwords every time they want access. Rosen said Facebook is in the early stages of investigation and has not yet determined whether any accounts were misused or if any information was accessed. He said, "We don't know who's behind these attacks or where they're based. We're working hard to better understand these details, and we will update this post when we have more information or if the facts change." Facebook said it fixed the flaw and notified law enforcement of the hacking. The company also has reset access tokens for the affected accounts and another 40 million accounts that have used the View As feature in the past year. All 90 million of those accounts must log back into Facebook, where they will see a notification explaining the incident. The company also said it is temporarily disabling the View As feature until it conducts a security review. Facebook said there is no need for users to change their passwords. FPP Radio News is brought to you by the Doublespeak Dictionary. The Doublespeak Dictionary by Leslie Starr O'Hara satirizes the marked difference between the ideal of we the people and the reality of we the elite, while offering an insightful glimpse into the clockworks of the totalitarian mind. Ever irreverent but never irrelevant, the Doublespeak Dictionary serves as a subversive and humorous but timely reminder that the emperor has no clothes. The Doublespeak Dictionary is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports Walgreens will pay $34.5 million to settle charges that it misled investors about the increased risk that it would miss a key financial goal related to its merger in 2012, according to a top U.S. security regulator on Friday. The Securities and Exchange Commission said it had also charged former Chief Executive Officer Gregory Wasson and former finance head Wade McAlone, who agreed to each pay $160,000 in penalties. Walgreens said in a statement the settlement does not involve any current officers or executives, nor does it allege that anyone acted intentionally or recklessly at any time. The drugstore chain says it neither admits nor denies the SEC's allegations that the firm and its former top executives acted negligently. The SEC said both executives also consented to the order without admitting or denying their findings. Wasson and McAlone did not immediately respond to a request for comment from Reuters. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Shortly after Seattle area consulting firm Brink and Tiller received a resume from Corey Wilhelm, a college graduate with a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Communications, Human Resources Director Robert Bradshaw immediately fast-tracked Wilhelm's application and spoke with The Onion about this exceptional candidate.
Well, the second I saw Corey's resume, I knew I had to send it straight up to our CEO. I mean, we're talking about an applicant who not only got into the University of Washington School of Communication, but also managed to graduate in 4 years with a Bachelor of Arts. This kid's only 22, but according to his resume, he already has experience in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. We're really going to have to move fast to get this guy.
Bradshaw went on to say that company heads could barely believe the candidate had 2 years of experience working at his college newspaper and had even taken a full 4 years of high school Spanish. Since receiving the application, Bradshaw claims the company has made numerous attempts to reach Wilhelm.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial in here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE as we launch into the second hour of the program. First hour, we started out by talking about a longtime listener and supporter of the show, State Representative Mike Sylvia, who is a state rep here in New Hampshire, being targeted by a group of people calling themselves the Town of Belmont. Why are they targeting him with $275 a day in fines, which they say have been racking up since mid-August? Well, because he's allegedly living on his property. They say, without asking the town's permission first, to ostensibly occupy a garage on the property and or an RV also parked on the property. This led to a larger conversation about zoning laws and whether they should exist or not. We actually did find somebody to call in. Somebody actually called in to defend zoning laws, claiming that it was protecting people.
Well, I mean, pretty much everybody thinks that zoning laws are there for the reasons that this gentleman called in. I mean, that's what the idea is. That's what the selling point is that we're going to make everybody's property worth more. We're going to make the town, city, county, municipality, whatever, function better. We're going to make sure that bad things don't happen right next door to you. But what it always devolves into is that, oh, I don't think that they should be able to do that over there, and they shouldn't be able to do this over here. And pretty soon, you don't functionally have anything like property. You are a tenant for the city or the town or the county, basically.
Right. You can put things within a certain range on the property. You can decorate your home generally how you want on the inside.
You can have the color carpet you want, but by God, you can't paint the color we don't want. And just it happens all the time. And the probable, almost certain future is that if we let it continue, it will happen more.
Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts here. Jim's in Hibbing, Minnesota, listening to WNMT. Hello, Jim.
Good evening, gentlemen. Been listening for a while on hold here.
Welcome.
So my situation is the gentleman that you're talking about, I'm directly associated with that type of situation. I'm a septic system installer in northern Minnesota. And the particular laws in Minnesota are called point of sale laws and certificate of occupancies. And up here in Minnesota, we had a lot of people with illegal septic systems, and the lakes turned green. And it just wasn't good for everybody. Of course, there's people that want freedom and they want to do what they want with their own septic, and they don't care if the lakes turn green. So what Mr. Sylvia there is up against is they're trying to get his septic system into compliance in order to give him a certificate of occupancy. Now, I'm no longer in the business because I couldn't handle being in the middle of this argument. I actually live primitive and don't have a septic system myself, so I'm kind of in the middle on all of it.
Yeah.
And I'd like to comment on one more thing. You've got the Free State Project going, but your Free State Project is going to have rules and regulations and beliefs, but they're just going to be your beliefs, not somebody else's.
Well, actually, no. The idea of the migration, which you're referring to, the Free State Project, is one aspect of a larger migration of libertarians who are coming to New Hampshire. Now, within the libertarian community, there are people who have a kind of a range of beliefs. Some believe in a smaller government, they're kind of marginal libertarians, and then others believe that there should be no state, no coercive state whatsoever. But ultimately, generally, I would say almost all of them would be against zoning if you ask them about it. And so, no, most libertarians don't want to control their neighbor. They're not interested in telling other people how to live. And if they are, then they can go and move into a damn deed-restricted neighborhood and have all the fun they want with their fellow neighborhood Nazis.
Yeah, and I've mentioned before when I've called in that I've got a theory on this. You take 10 of any species, it could be ants or deer or bear or whatever, or people. You're going to have a dominant, you're going to have a submissive, and you're going to have 8 people caught in the middle trying to figure out what the heck's going on.
That sounds right.
So we can try to regulate, but we can't regulate morals. We can't put laws on to control people. There's always going to be deviants and stuff. So, it's when we don't like the government we want, we have another group of people selling us something that wants to be the government and be in charge and either make the rules or make the non-rules. So it's a real complicated situation. My own belief is I have a neighbor, he bought a house next to me. He's a young guy. He likes to cut the mufflers off everything and roar his engines and stuff. And my friend was over, and I guess we're old now, and he says, why don't you do something about that? And I said, there's nothing I can do, number one. And number two, whatever happens 1 inch on that side of that property line is his business, and I hope he feels the same way.
Good.
So I just ignore it. People should have their freedom and stuff.
If you don't want to have somebody running their engine next to you or, doing some sort of noisy work constantly or whatever next to you, buy a bigger piece of property out in the middle of nowhere, and then, you just be far away from people, and you solve that problem.
Yeah, so I tend to agree with you, right? We're going to have things like septic system regulations, especially when people live close together. I live in a community where people all have septic, and they live the lots aren't very big, maybe 100, 125 feet wide, that kind of thing. And, it'd be an issue if people didn't have rules on how to put together septics. Now, I could see how people could organize in a voluntary fashion or whatever, but there's also people who live right now in New Hampshire and have outhouses. I've been to their houses, and they have composting toilets in their homes, and they somehow manage to live without the requisite the system there. So in that case, you'll find people that use the system to prevent other people from living the way they want. So like the occupancy permit won't be given to the structure. You can't live in a structure that doesn't have the proper toilets and the proper leach field and all that other stuff, when in fact I've seen people do it, and they can do it pretty well. And in some neighborhoods they go so far as to come by and videotape your house. That way they can compare it with the next year and see if you've made any changes. Oh, did you get a permit for those shutters you put on your window? And I mean, it just goes and goes and goes.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I actually live primitive, like I say, and I don't have a septic system and stuff, even though I installed them. And in Minnesota, it's gotten to the point where if you take off a wood porch going into your 3-foot-high door in the front of your house, and you put in concrete, you have to pay zoning on that.
Oh yeah.
So I agree, it's gotten a little bit crazy. And
well, that's the thing. Whenever you allow the government to take one step, you might as well have just allowed them to take 10. Because as long as people are going to put up with the first crappy ordinance, then they're going to put up with the next 100 of them, and nobody's ever going to do anything except gripe privately about it until you finally get somebody like Representative Mike Sylvia here in New Hampshire who's actually going to court and standing up for his rights, and everybody else's rights, by the way, to do what they want on their property. I thank you for the call and your story, Jim. I appreciate hearing from you. Let's go also to Mark, listening in Indiana to WIBC FM. Hello, Mark.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, you're on the air.
I had a problem with the zoning laws that were changed in the middle of my project.
Oh my God!
I bought 10 acres of property.
Yeah.
And out in the country, and I'm my own architect and my own builder. That's what I've done for many years, and I put septic tanks in for many years too. And at the beginning of this, the rule was you had to have an operational septic system in before they would let you have any electricity. So you're trying to build with no power on your property. And I got the septic done and got it inspected. And the guy that came out to do it said, well, they've changed the rules. Now you have to, we've got a building inspector. And it's like, I got pretty upset, because nobody told me about this, and they changed it in the middle,
Yeah.
And
nobody likes the rules to change.
The building inspector they sent out didn't know what he was doing.
Hold on, Mark. I want you to tell the rest of the story. It sounds like there's more to it, so hang on. We'll bring you back to finish that up here. Mark in Indiana with a zoning nightmare, and these are not uncommon stories. It's not like, just every now and then they overextend their boundaries. No. These happen all the time to people. We're coming up. Free Talk Live.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block, and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dynavite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies,
grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it,
and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dynavite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic
and Cindy Lukasevic,
inviting you and your pets to Dynavite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
Are you a sneezer? If you're not, can you get close to one? I don't literally mean someone sneezing. Sneezer, as defined by marketing guru Seth Godin, is an opinion leader. When a sneezer mentions something, other people catch what Godin calls the idea virus. Seth Godin says some people are more likely to tell their friends about a great new idea. So identifying and courting sneezers is a key success factor for idea merchants. His book, Unleashing the Idea Virus, is the most downloaded ebook in history, and you can download the whole book free. That's how he's making his idea contagious. Click Tips, Tricks, and other stuff to help you cut through the clutter at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk live Saturday edition of the program here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And we've also got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms open to you over at discord.lrn.fm. It's Ian here.
And Mark.
Zencash is now known as Horizon. It's a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology. That's really good privacy tech. And they've got a decentralized secure node architecture. So like a lot of cryptocurrencies, they're decentralized. Right. But Zencash is more than just a cryptocurrency.
Well, yeah, unlike your house, the government can't just come in and poke around if it feels like it.
That's correct. The government can't shut it down either because Zencash, of all the cryptos in the world, from what I can tell, is the #1 most distributed system, meaning there are more nodes on their network, more secure nodes and supernodes combined than the Bitcoin network has. Quite a bit more. In fact, about 50% more the last time I looked. I think Zencash, last I checked, was at 16,000 or so nodes total, with Bitcoin only having about 10 to 11,000. So huge difference there.
Yeah.
But both of them are obviously very, very strong. Go to horizon.global to learn more. It's HORIZEN.global. You'll learn about their vision for the future. They've already got private chat implemented, but they're also going to add at some point, now I don't know when, but their plan is to enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. So I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to hearing, when they get this thing rolled out, and I'm sure they'll be on to tell us about it when it happens. Horizon.global, HORIZEN.global. We got Mark on the line in Indiana. You were beginning to tell us about how you were in the middle of a construction project. You'd installed a sewage or a septic tank system, and as you were completing this, the town inspector bureaucrat decides to inform you they're changing the rules on you, and that's kind of where we left your story off, if you could pick that back up.
Right. Now, this is a rural area. It's out in the country. And in order to get electricity, I had to put the septic in. That was to begin with. Well, they changed that, and then I had to go get a building permit and all this other stuff. Well, I was really pissed.
Yeah.
And I went to the county commissioners, and I just literally raised hell with them, and I kind of got a big thing started because there were several other people that were upset about it too.
Mm-hmm.
But I found a law in Indiana called the log cabin law, and if you're building your own house, they can't force you to get a building permit.
Really?
So
wait a minute. Are you telling me that the town bureaucrats didn't know the laws?
Or that they just make them up, even if they do know them?
Well, this one was kind of buried.
Yeah.
And this is like a really rural county. It's about 50 miles from Indianapolis. And I don't want to build a piece of junk. I was, but I couldn't get electricity to work until they, okayed it.
Right.
And that's how they get you down here.
They got you. They hold.
Right. Well, what that is essentially is forcing you to use a contractor and somebody who has all
one
the
of their
generators
buddies
and the big equipment and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So that's one of these little back scratching laws that make it so you got to hire my friend Bubba and his excavator, and then you'll be in great shape.
Hey, great call, Mark. I appreciate hearing from you. Thanks for the story. Our toll free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Also, Discord on-air call-in lines are available at discord.lrn.fm. As I said, these stories are so common. It's just that most people, they don't get the the venue to tell their story. They just get abused by these zoning bureaucrats, and then they have to put up with it because everywhere else they go, these idiots are going to exist in the same, these other places for the most part. There are a few towns here in New Hampshire where they actually don't have zoning. There are a few of them. I don't know how many there are. But
there's plenty of places geographically around the United States. I would presume that more places don't have zoning.
Well, the guy that called from Michigan said he didn't know of any. He said maybe unincorporated areas don't have it, but there are actual towns in New Hampshire like Grafton or what's the one in this area? There's it starts with an L where Wayne lives. Lemster. They don't have zoning either. And in fact, when they've tried to implement zoning, because of course there's busybodies that live in these towns that want to see zoning come about. And so they'll put it on like the town ballot, and they get shot down in these places.
I built my house about 10 years ago in a town that's directly adjacent to Keene, New Hampshire, and they may have had the rules, but they didn't enforce any of them on me.
Well, that's nice.
I had an
you didn't have the town government apparently targeting you.
I lived in that home for at least a year without an occupancy permit because I hadn't put the last little finishing touches. I needed what they wanted was 3/4-inch drywall from the garage into the building. Right, like they wanted the garage to be drywalled in, and I hadn't done that yet for whatever reason. Because basically, if you have a wood floor the way it is, you have a spill in the kitchen, it could drip through. So I didn't want to do that, and it did ultimately happen at one point. We had a leak in the bathtub, had to tear it out and put it back in.
Yeah,
and that's at a 10-year-old house.
And remember, these zoning laws, as far as I'm concerned, also include what goes on outside of the house, right? So let's say, remember the story of the couple in Orlando, and it's not just them. There've been a few of these stories where they had like a garden in their front lawn.
Right.
And there was all this controversy over, oh my God, they're violating the code, the city code. And it's like, hello, they're trying to grow some food. It actually looks really nice. But oh no, we can't have anything but crabgrass or whatever the heck kind of grass they have down there in Florida.
St. Augustine.
We can't have anything but this kind of grass, and it's got to be there. And if you want to have a garden, well, then it's going to be needing to be in the backyard where no one can see it.
Well, if your house is facing the wrong direction, you're not going to be able to grow most types of food because you need full sun.
Doesn't matter.
Right. Ultimately, when somebody's just messing with your yard, most people you can get on board with this stuff. The problem is they'll be like, well, for that 10% of cases, we need zoning. The problem is for the 10% of cases that you need zoning, and I'm going to agree with you, for the 10% of cases you need zoning, there's these 90% of cases, it seems to me, maybe it's the 80-20 rule. I don't know what the percentage is, but there's these many myriad of cases where it's just overreach, and these bureaucrats have to have something to do. If everybody's acting nice, they don't have any reason for their job.
Yeah, well, you mentioned this 10% of cases. You don't need zoning, period. As we pointed out, there are towns in which there are no zoning. There are cities like Houston that don't have zoning. Now, apparently some of the suburbs, which are sort of separate political entities, I've heard they do. But from what I've heard, this city of Houston, and maybe that's changed, so if you live in Houston and it's no longer the case, we were reporting on this years ago, so it's been a while since we've done an update.
Last I looked, still
the case.
They're blaming it's the Civil Engineers Corps or whatever is out there blaming the lack of zoning in Houston for the flooding that occurred during hurricane, I don't know, whatever it was.
I'd like to blame the Civil Engineers Corps, the Army Corps of Engineers, for the flooding during Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, which absolutely has zoning. And that whole situation was set up by the government to flood, basically.
Well, somebody had the bright idea of building a town that was 10 feet below sea level.
Yep. Toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE. We got time for you if you want to join us. State Representative Mike Sylvia, a longtime supporter of Free Talk Live, has been targeted for allegedly living in his own property, or at least what he thought was his property. Turns out nobody actually really owns any property. Because if you have to beg some group of unaccountable strangers for permission to live there, for permission to do what you want with your property, you're just a glorified tenant. 855-450-FREE, and not even that glorified. It's Free Talk Live.
Healthcare reform is confusing, but whether it's finding an affordable insurance plan, keeping your doctor, or being able to afford needed prescriptions, navigating the healthcare system has become a challenge. Control your own healthcare costs and choices with Liberty HealthShare. Liberty HealthShare is not insurance. It is an association of self-pay patients who unite with like-minded people to share the cost of each other's medical needs. Neighbor helping neighbor. Learn more now by going to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Ever wonder how Bitcoin and Ethereum were created? Vercel Media has helped hundreds of companies and individuals make their own cryptocurrency. Decentralized blockchain solutions are making the world more transparent and giving power back to the people. Vercel Media has helped companies raise tens of millions in the past year alone, structuring and marketing ICOs to the thirsty crypto public worldwide. Don't miss the cryptocurrency revolution. Visit vercelmedia.com, VERCEL media.com.
Free Talk Live, the show where anyone can call about whatever they want. And we do mean anyone.
So are you saying that if government ran a dating service, that society's problems would be solved?
Yes, actually they would. I know it's hard to believe, but it would.
Yeah, that's real hard to believe. I mean, there are dating services all over the place. Why would a government-run dating service be better?
No, they don't work. They're not Christian. They charge a lot of money.
What makes you think a government-run dating service would be better or Christian?
Yes, it would, because everybody would be in the same computer. Today it would be run by a computer. Everybody's knowledge of their existence and location would be in one place.
Let's say I disagree. What happens to me?
What happens if you disagree? Well, you can disagree, but does that mean you're not going to cooperate with us?
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. Maybe I'd come over there and beat the hell out of you.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free, take control of the airwaves here. Bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Mark, did you get the Blink security system set up in your the newer house that you've moved into?
Oh, yeah. It's been set up for a long time. It's easy to set up. It takes maybe 10 minutes to set up.
How long was the takedown? Did you take them down or did you get a whole new system?
Basically, it's cameras, so you get a screw gun and you unscrew them.
Wireless cameras, you mean?
Wireless cameras, and then you screw them back up in another place.
Bang, bang, boom, you're done.
Yeah, it really doesn't take much. You got to pull the covers off and push the reset button. It probably takes more time to reset it up than it does to set it up out of the box.
Oh, to set it up. Okay, gotcha.
But nonetheless, it's still... This is the easiest, least expensive security system you can have.
That's a true statement. I believe that. And it's quality. I mean, there's probably some dirt cheap garbage out there that you can get, but this is
This works with Alexa.
Yes.
I mean, it's a great system. And
Amazon
easy to use.
bought them because it was so great.
Right. Yeah. It's Amazon bought the company, and you can get it. Well, this system that is already significantly less costly than other systems that are out there like this. You can get it by just using Blink with 15% off by using blinkprotect.com/FTL. So that's 15% off. Just go to blinkprotect.com/FTL as in Free Talk Live. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
All right, we go back to your calls and thoughts. First up, it's my dog Rex, listening in Florida on the TuneIn app. Hello, my dog Rex.
Hey, guys. Thanks for letting me in.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to comment. These people with the zoning, they think that the city or the government or the county has some kind of authority. The reason they regulate septic tanks is because if my septic tank leaks and I pollute your land, the city gets to fine me and take my money, and you get polluted.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose of it. If I want to raise hogs, if I can't keep my stink on my land, you can sue me. I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do on my land, so long as I don't leave whatever I do doesn't leave my land.
Right. It's an interesting point you make, my dog Rex, because I did raise hogs. At one point, I had 50 pigs on a piece of land that was probably an 1.5 acres to 2 acres, somewhere in there. I never sized it out or anything like that. But I can assure you, as a matter of fact, it would have been bigger, but I had to wrap their pen around the septic field. And so I can assure you those pigs are producing far more fecal matter than the people in the house around which their pen was wrapped. Not to say that I think that feces should just lay on the ground or anything. I think we need to have systems for taking care of this. But clearly, the pigs were not cooperating. I mean, no one told me I needed potties for the pigs.
Right. Yeah, I got news for you.
By the way, I built the land up with pig poo.
Yeah.
I managed to build the land up. It's far more fertile than it used to be. It's much more useful. Now you can mow it for hay and, all kinds of stuff.
I got news for you, zoning advocates. The animals don't really care about all your rules. They're just going to poop right on the ground. And some of them might back a little dirt on top of it, but not in a lot of cases.
It boils down to property rights. And if you can't sue or file a claim against whoever done you wrong, you have no property rights.
That's
and
correct.
When the city or government takes it over and does it for you, they get whatever you should have got to repair your stuff. And
yeah, you ought to get some compensation. If somebody's actually polluted your land with whatever it is, oil spill or, fecal runoff or something like that, if somebody's actually polluted your property and done damage, then you ought to be restituted for that. And in a just world where we actually had property rights, which we don't, we've got the illusion of them, but in a world in which we did, then you would be able to get some compensation from a polluting neighbor. And people would learn that if they pollute their neighbor's property, they would become liable for that, and they might be a little more thoughtful about it the next time around. Good call tonight, my dog Rex. I appreciate hearing from you. Our toll-free number, if you want to join us, is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Let's talk to Annie in Indianapolis, listening to WIBC FM. Hello, Annie.
Hey, hi, how you doing tonight?
Great. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, I've got a fun story for you of somebody fighting back against zoning laws.
Oh, yeah, tell me.
Yeah, well, my dad, who lives in an old established neighborhood in Greenwood, Indiana, he has an old canoe trailer, and it was parked in the side yard, and they got a lovely letter from the zoning committee that said it was in violation because it might cause a blight hazard with grass underneath of it. Well, he mows underneath of it. The yard's immaculate and all that. Mm-hmm. They wanted him to spend hundreds of dollars to concrete in a brand new driveway just for this boat trailer. And they wanted to.
You know what this guy needs? He needs a canoe shed. A specially designed shed to slide his canoe in.
Well, he's going to have to get a permit for that.
My God, grass could grow somewhere near this canoe.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Well, he fought back by, saying it was ridiculous and whatever.
Right.
And they told him that it could not be on the grass. So he hung it from the tree in the front yard.
Now it's
and
art.
Everybody,
what, you don't like it? It's art,
well,
you cretin.
And that's what they did. They put a big sign on it that said, "This is art." Oh my God! And it was awesome, and it stayed in the tree for months. And if you go, he posted some things on Facebook. It's Tate Trailer Tree, and after a while, he took it down because they were kind of starting to negotiate with him a little bit, and in good faith, he took it down. And then a month or two later, they were doing something else, and he put it right back in. And
nice.
The news came out, and all the neighbors, people were driving by and taking pictures of it.
Okay, what do we search for to find this on the internet?
Tate, T-A-T-E, Trailer Tree.
Tate Trailer Tree. All right, I love this
and it's in
story.
Greenwood, Indiana. They want to go after all kinds of things in the neighborhood, and he's got wood piles and gardens. So he's threatened that if they go after their wood pile next, that he's going to turn it into a wood sculpture out in the front yard, and it's actually going to look like the Greenwood City Council. He's an excellent carver, and that's his next plan if they continue to mess with him.
I hope you will call back if this continues to develop and update us.
I want to give the guy a medal.
Story. Did you see the picture yet, Mark? I've got the picture pulled up here.
Somehow it didn't work out for me. Tate, T-A-T-E?
T-A-T-E, Trailer Tree. Search Google Images, and it's the second image that comes up. Greenwood man hangs trailer from tree in front yard.
But you put the boat on it.
No, there's no boat on it right now. There's a sign, though. Hey, Annie, great call. Please keep us in the loop on this as it develops, if you would, please.
This guy's a hero.
Definitely.
I appreciate it.
Hero.
I love people like this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wish him the best, because it's people like that who don't get pushed around easily, who don't just bend right over for okay, I'll do whatever you say. Well, no. He came up with something really creative and got attention drawn to this situation, which, as I pointed out, most people don't get any attention for, the abuse that continues to be delivered on behalf of these zoning thugs that are coming around and demanding that you do things.
It's mostly so zoning works completely at the behest of whatever municipal government there is, and it's mostly the municipal government that most people don't vote for, right? So when you go to most towns,
supermajority don't vote for.
It's something like, I don't know,
10%
wing
maybe.
I think 10% is really
it's a
generous.
Good turnout, yeah.
10% of maybe of registered voters. I'll bet you it is generally fewer.
5%, yeah.
If in an election that doesn't include the president, that it is generally fewer than 5% of human beings living in the given geographic area.
That's safe. That's a safe bet.
Voted in an election. Not even voted for these despicable people.
If it's a two-way race, only half of them.
Right, only half of them. So you're now at something like 2.5%, 2% of people that are living in the town have given these officious, nosy little busybodies some kind of mandate.
Guess what? Here in Keene, New Hampshire, the city of Keene has about 1% of the population employed. There's about 250 people that work for the city of Keene.
So that's the voting block right there.
Plus all their family members. Husbands, wives, those folks.
Honey, vote for this.
Yeah. There's more coming up here in moments. We got time for you if you want to join us. We're talking zoning, but you can bring up anything on Free Talk Live at 855-450 free.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynavite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Ever wonder how Bitcoin and Ethereum were created? Vercel Media has helped hundreds of companies and individuals make their own cryptocurrency. Decentralized blockchain solutions are making the world more transparent and giving power back to the people. Vercel Media has helped companies raise tens of millions in the past year alone, structuring and marketing ICOs to the thirsty crypto public worldwide. Don't miss the cryptocurrency revolution. Visit vercelmedia.com, VERCEL media.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Welcome to Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us on the radio here, take control of the airwaves, and bring up whatever's on your mind. What do you know? A lot of people have a lot to say about zoning. Whole lot of stories being told here tonight on the air, and the phones are almost completely full of folks who are on this particular topic. You can call in about anything that you want, but it seems like every time we talk about zoning, which isn't that often, but over the years on Free Talk Live, every time we've brought it up, it's just the stories come out of the woodwork about, oh yeah, this is what happened to me. Here's how these bureaucrats abused us. Here's how we got bent over and, ramrodded by the state over whatever arbitrary, capricious rule by these scum-sucking politicians and bureaucrats that people have to deal with no matter where it is that they live, it seems like. It's Ian and Mark here in the studio tonight. By the way, I do want to make sure you know about the Free Talk Live AMP program and send a big thanks out to What's the Frequency Kenneth. That's his name, or his nickname. He is a Free Talk Live Silver amplifier, one of our longest-running amplifiers. Silver meaning he donates $5 a month to Free Talk Live's AMP program. And AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And the idea is a very simple one, that we will promote Free Talk Live, get on more radio stations. We've got 190 great AM and FM radio stations across the United States, even as far away as Guam and Alaska. And we can have more. We could get to 300. We could do that. It's just, it takes time. It takes marketing. And the AMP program helps make that happen. It helps us bring on new stations, big stations like WRKO out in Boston, huge call letters, huge signal. So that's happening. Things like that happen because of the AMP program. If you appreciate the vision that we have here for freedom on Free Talk Live, if you appreciate the fact that, well, sadly, this kind of show just doesn't exist on the radio anywhere else. I mean, there may be here and there throughout the United States, like on a local station, there might be a guy calling himself a libertarian, and he may actually be, or she may actually be a libertarian. There's nobody doing a syndicated libertarian principled radio show like we are. So if you like what we do, whether you're listening on podcast or listening on our live streams, listening over satellite, listening to your local AM or FM radio affiliate for Free Talk Live, please help us out and get access to some of the cool perks that you can get over at amp.freetalklive.com, like the AMP Only Facebook group. There's the AMP Only podcast and more. Just head on over to ampamp.freetalklive.com. You can sign up with PayPal. You can use your credit card as well over at amp.freetalklive.com. Plus, Bitcoin BTC is accepted too. And you can get the full list of perks that you get access to over at amp.freetalklive.com. Once again, thanks to What's the Frequency Kenneth, longtime amper, as we go through our list, basically, of Free Talk Live amplifiers. And we can do this within a year because there's only 200 of them, and I appreciate every single one of them. Thank you to everybody that supports the show. We'll get to your name if we haven't gotten to it yet, as long as you've authorized us to, because by default, you're anonymous as an amplifier. We don't tell anybody who you are, but if you want to be out there, so it's actually going to be less than 200 because not all of them have opted in to being recognized. All right, so let's continue here. Your calls, your thoughts. We go to Richard. He's listening in Aberdeen, Washington, to KBKW. Go ahead, Richard.
Yes.
Welcome.
Those those laws are a bunch of BS in a lot of places. We're just up the road in Ocean Shores. You can only keep your RV on your property for a certain amount of time, and then they make you get the hell out. And
is it during the winter where it's not allowed? What's the time frame when they allow it?
It's about 6 to 8 weeks, and that's even in the summertime.
So it's only allowed to be on your property for 6 to 8 weeks during the summer. Where are you supposed to store it the rest of the time?
Well, a lot of people, this is a big tourist type thing too.
Mm-hmm.
So you keep it on your other property.
Outside of this town, basically? You'd have to have property somewhere else?
Outside of the town.
Ridiculous.
You come to Abbott, bring your fifth wheel or your trailer outside, to Aberdeen or Hoquiam and that. But the other one is, to me, I laugh at these people that say, I own my own house.
Mm-mm.
No, you don't.
You're right.
If you don't pay your property tax, you don't own it.
Nope.
They'll come and take it away from you.
They sure will. They'll throw you out in the street.
Well, they only give you two options, right? It's either you rent or you own, and they ask this particular question. And I often, if I'm ever having a conversation with somebody who's asking this question, or maybe they're taking my credit or whatever, I said, I don't own my house, neither do you, and neither does anybody.
Exactly.
They'll let you pay to upgrade the house. They'll let you pay to fix the house. They'll let you pay to
They'll let
maintain
you
it.
buy a piece of land and build on that piece of land and then pay them to have the new thing.
Pay them more.
This is what amazes me about it, is that you build a structure on your property, you pay for that structure, and suddenly they're levying new taxes. Well, they'll say, wow, now you can send kids to our school if you're able to live on the land. Well, I would never send my kid to your school. I don't believe in that kind of abuse.
Yeah. I hear you,
Richard.
And the other one is it's just ridiculous anymore. That this state is tax happy too. They're trying to tax food now.
Jeez.
And that and I'm one of these guys. I believe, hey, food should never be taxed.
No, nothing should be taxed.
The heck it is.
Certainly not food, but nothing should be taxed. Hey, thank you, Richard, for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. Because the government shouldn't exist. The state, as we know it, should not exist as a coercive monopoly organization. If somebody wants to create a civic group to provide some sort of service and fund that on a voluntary, consensual basis, fine.
Well, any service that's worth providing should be, one would presume, worth providing at a profit, or at least at a not-for-profit or a co-op or something like that.
But that's not how the government works.
No, the government's a group of people that'll tell you how you're going to live and then charge you for the way that they told you how you're going to live. It's a really great organizational model if you can get that kind of work.
If you're the government, you mean?
But they don't give that kind of work to anybody but themselves. They don't. They just dole out the power on very little basis. They don't give that to too many people.
We continue with your calls and thoughts. We've got Bob. He's in Indianapolis listening to WIBC FM. Hey, Bob.
Hey, I appreciate it. This isn't anything with zoning, but I want your opinion on this real quick.
Sure.
It's been almost 2 years ago that I was walking home from my local tavern, which is 4 blocks from my house, and I walked there.
Okay.
As being a responsible adult.
Sounds responsible to me.
Yep. Karaoke night on Thursday. Well, I was walking home. It's 2 years ago. I'm walking down the sidewalk, perfectly straight, perfectly normal. And a cop pulls up, shines a light on me. He goes, "You been drinking tonight?" I said, "Yeah. I just came from 3 hours of karaoke at the tavern." He goes, "Well, how much do you have to drink?" I said, "Well, it's none of your business."
Okay.
Which is not. And how many people say, "Oh, I had 1 or 2 beers"? How many people say that?
Right. Yep. That's what they always say.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
And because I wouldn't take a breathalyzer and I wouldn't do the stupid gymnastics tricks on the sidewalk, they arrested me for public intoxication, disorderly conduct, threw me in jail, and strapped me to an electric chair with no power to it. And we're going to leave me there all night.
Wow.
Wouldn't let me pee, wouldn't let me drink water.
Where did they get an electric chair? It's not like these things.
Well, it may not have been an electric chair, but you're not talking about
it's the
old
same
Sparky.
thing. Your chest, your arms, your legs are strapped
It's a
to a chair.
strap-down chair.
They're going to leave you there for 8 hours.
That's where they put people they don't like. They put the person
I call them Nazi. I call them Nazis and fascist pigs.
They've never heard that before.
Yeah. I just want to warn everybody before the holidays come, you can't walk home, you can't fly home, you can't drive home, and there's no taxi service in my town, and there's no buses. How the hell are you supposed to get home?
Oh, yeah, it's ridiculous that you got stopped for it.
Hold on, before you go on, though, I'm curious, did you take a plea deal on this, or did you go to trial?
Oh, yeah, and my attorney, I tried to fight it, my attorney said, just plead guilty or they're going to put you in jail if you don't.
What kind of attorney is this?
That's the kind of attorney
Is this a public
you get.
defender? Wait, is this a public defender?
No, it's my friend from high school.
Have you actually had him as an attorney before?
He's probably not wrong.
Oh, no. This is a small town, Shelbyville, Indiana, south of Indy. Anyway, he said if you don't plead guilty, you're probably going to spend a few weeks or a few months in jail. And what do you want to do? You want to plead guilty?
Yeah.
I wasn't guilty of anything. I was guilty of walking home from
I don't know, man. I mean, obviously, I don't have the ordinances in front of me that they are alleging that you violated. Well, I did not hang up on him. He just dropped the call. I don't know what happened there. Thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate it. But yeah, I don't know what the ordinances say, but I'm sorry. In a lot of cases, they don't have a case.
Yeah,
against
you're
you.
presuming that the judicial system in his town works.
I'm worried that the attorney is doing what many attorneys do and is saying, "Yeah, just take the
That's all they know
plea.
how to do these days.
Take the guilty plea. I'll take $3,000 from you and take you through the process guilty." That way, he doesn't actually have to work. We're coming up. Free Talk Live.
Times are changing. The circus of politics, healthcare's low standards and high prices, and let's not forget food quality. What to do? Arm yourself with Life Change Tea at GetTheTea.com. In a world of chemical imbalance and poor air and water quality, it's time you make a move. Log on to GetTheTea.com and stock up on organic non-GMO supplements. Don't forget the tea. Cleansing your body never felt so good. And we have a brand new tea called Takedown Tea, which helps support healthy glucose. All natural body support so you can be at your best, naturally. All you have to do is log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. We're not a fad that comes and goes. We are the real deal. Join us and armor up. GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Changing America's health one tea bag at a time.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for the weekend of September 29th and 30th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.65 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,192 per ounce. Zen is trading at $17, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,568. Antiwar.com reports conflicting reports emerged on Friday about negotiations between the Taliban and Afghan governments earlier in the week. Anonymous Taliban officials were quoted as saying such talks took place and ended with an agreement for a prisoner exchange. Indeed, one official suggested that some Taliban had already been released since the talks. Yet, the official Taliban spokesman issued a contrary statement insisting that no such talks ever happened. They also reported that planned talks with the U.S. fell through at the last minute for certain reasons. The Taliban-Afghan talks had been reported to be planned before, with the talks expected, as since reported, as the Afghan government wanted security guarantees for the October election and wanted detained Taliban members freed in return. With conflicting statements and the Afghan government refusing comment, there is no way of knowing whether the talks actually happened or if a deal was struck. Reports of detainees being released are similarly impossible to confirm since the Taliban never made the list of sought releases public. Zencash is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global. UPI reports a Facebook feature that allows users to view their profile the way others would see it allowed hackers potential access to millions of accounts, according to the company on Friday. Guy Rosen, Facebook Vice President of Product Management, says the social network discovered the bug on Tuesday and that it affected as many as 50 million users. Rosen said in a Facebook blog post on Friday, it's clear that attackers exploited a vulnerability in Facebook's code that impacted View As, a feature that lets people see what their own profile looks like to someone else. This allowed them to steal Facebook Access tokens, which they could then use to take over people's accounts. Tokens allow users to remain logged into Facebook so they don't have to keep re-entering their passwords every time they want access. Rosen said Facebook is in the early stages of investigation and has not yet determined whether any accounts were misused or if any information was accessed. He said, "We don't know who's behind these attacks or where they're based. We're working hard to better understand these details, and we will update this post when we have more information or if the facts change." Facebook said it fixed the flaw and notified law enforcement of the hacking. The company also has reset access tokens for the affected accounts and another 40 million accounts that have used the View As feature in the past year. All 90 million of those accounts must log back into Facebook, where they will see a notification explaining the incident. The company also said it is temporarily disabling the View As feature until it conducts a security review. Facebook said there is no need for users to change their passwords. FPP Radio News is brought to you by the Doublespeak Dictionary. The Doublespeak Dictionary by Leslie Starr O'Hara satirizes the marked difference between the ideal of we the people and the reality of we the elite, while offering an insightful glimpse into the clockworks of the totalitarian mind. Ever irreverent but never irrelevant, the Doublespeak Dictionary serves as a subversive and humorous but timely reminder that the emperor has no clothes. The Doublespeak Dictionary is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports Walgreens will pay $34.5 million to settle charges that it misled investors about the increased risk that it would miss a key financial goal related to its merger in 2012, according to a top U.S. security regulator on Friday. The Securities and Exchange Commission said it had also charged former Chief Executive Officer Gregory Wasson and former finance head Wade McAlone, who agreed to each pay $160,000 in penalties. Walgreens said in a statement the settlement does not involve any current officers or executives, nor does it allege that anyone acted intentionally or recklessly at any time. The drugstore chain says it neither admits nor denies the SEC's allegations that the firm and its former top executives acted negligently. The SEC said both executives also consented to the order without admitting or denying their findings. Wasson and McAlone did not immediately respond to a request for comment from Reuters. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Seniors thunder into a local high school parking lot like coalition forces entering Baghdad. A substitute teacher just needs to make it to her car before breaking down in tears. And a college freshman tells his roommate there's no need to hide his masturbation from him. And now a week in review that truly requires no introduction. The nation's students announced this week that they have reluctantly agreed to give the American education system yet another chance, saying they hope educators keep their promises of smaller class size, better school supplies, and intensified efforts to raise the country's international math ranking. The nation's students vowed to give the education system one more shot, despite claiming to have been burned many, many times in the past. In other news, a man overcomes alcoholism without the help of Jesus, and an outcast student and a lonely teacher have begun a somewhat endearing sexual relationship. And that was a free lesson in top-shelf journalism. For more news, videos, and reminders of your insignificance, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of the program. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got the Discord on-air call-in lines. They're open and available to you. You can join them anytime you want. We'll join you there, and you'll sound, when we put you on the air, almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. It's Ian.
And Mark.
We're going back to the phones, to your calls and thoughts. We've been talking a lot about zoning here tonight and the attacks against peaceful people by these town gangs, they call themselves governments, who are threatening you with ultimately removal from your home. Because if Mike Sylvia, who's a state representative, who's one of the most recent victims of these zoning thugs, if he doesn't pay, they're issuing $275 a day in fines for the dastardly
incredible,
crime,
by the way,
for the horrible crime of him living on what he believes to be his property, the property he paid for, the property that he maintains. They're saying that he is illegal. Basically, he's an illegal living in this property illegally, allegedly in a garage or an RV on the land, and they say he doesn't have a permit. Blah blah blah. $275 a day in fines are accruing in this case. If Mike is assessed those fines by this court and he does not pay those fines,
they'll take that property.
They're going to take that property from him, and they're going to come in there with men with guns, because if he sticks it out and he says, "This is my property. I paid for this. I didn't agree to these zoning rules."
Well, first, they'll sell the property to somebody else.
And
then
at a tax sale.
that person will be like, "Hey, I can't get my property. The guy who thinks he still owns it is still living there."
Yeah.
Then they'll send in the the goons with guns.
Right. So
and don't forget, somebody will say, "This is a free country," and wave their flag about it. Look, you can have one or the other. But you can't be taken off of your property because you didn't have some piece of paper from the government.
Well, actually, you can be taken off your property.
And it'd still be a free country.
Oh, right. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You get to pick.
Right. Yeah, it's not a free country.
You can have
not at all
occupancy permits, or you can have a free country, but you can't have both.
Exactly. Toll-free number, if you want to join us, 855-450-FREE. We're going to continue with your calls. We're actually going to a call from a Michigan prison where AJ is on the line. AJ, go ahead. What was on your mind tonight? AJ? Ooh, my bad.
Yeah,
there you are. We got you now.
Okay, Brett Kavanaugh, Trump's nominee for U.S. Supreme Court Justice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched the hearings.
I just want to talk briefly. This is a new American way. 100 years ago, the government said, hey, they'd rather let loose nine guilty people versus one innocent people go to prison. Now the complete opposite. You're guilty and you have to prove yourself innocent.
Yeah.
So what's going on with him is a new American way. And then we understand that the media demonizes whoever is charged with a crime. Basically, the media demonizing them.
Right.
So there's no way you can get a fair trial.
Without a conviction, right? You're already convicted in the court of public opinion when the media drags you through the mud based on some allegations, which are all charges are. It's just allegations.
Okay. The shift changed now, but if you could talk a little bit more about that, government's become very corrupt, and it's important that we recognize that anybody can have to go through this. So thank you for your time.
Thanks.
You guys keep up the good work.
Enjoy the lockdown. Thanks for the call.
All right.
AJ from prison up there in Michigan.
Yeah, I've kept a close eye on this Cavanaugh case.
You were telling me you actually watched a bunch of this hearings. You told me this before the show. My
hours
God,
of
you
this
poor
stuff.
man.
I've watched it, and
what are you doing to yourself?
I got interested in it. First off, let it be known, I would not have nominated Brett Kavanaugh. I think he's a statist. I think that
what federal judge isn't?
Well, all you have to do is say the word terrorist, and essentially he'll bow down to anything the government wants. And the people that are telling me what to do in my life is the government. Those are the people that I need to be protected from by the judicial system, the government. And I don't expect him to do any of that. I don't find him to be.
He's not your protector.
An acceptable nominee. However,
he's in the group of people who have put countless peaceful people like Ross Ulbricht and other individuals who've never harmed another human being in their lives behind bars for the rest of their lives. He's one of them.
And, that judges do those sorts of things.
Yeah, and it's bad, and it's immoral, and it's wrong, and
you're
it's
gonna
hard
get
to
a
feel
judge,
bad for this guy.
You're going to get a judge for the Supreme Court. No way to not get a federal judge.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the going rate. It doesn't have to be, but the likelihood of it not being is pretty slim.
There are some issues in this case, like the idea of dredging up something that happened 30-plus years ago.
37,
and trying to actually have some sort of semblance of a sane, hearing on whatever that event was just seems out of control. So I can definitely empathize with whatever frustrations this guy has been suffering, because again, it's he said, she said. It seems like here, as in so many of these cases. I don't know if he's telling the truth or she's telling the truth or whatever. I have no idea.
Well, in her case, she's not even making there's not even an allegation. There's no.
I thought the allegation was that he and another friend cornered her in a room. You've been watching, so you probably know, but this is what I've heard, right? That he and another friend at some high school party cornered her. They were drunk. Pushed her into a room. He pushed her down onto the bed, then attempted to take her clothes off while holding her down. His friend then somehow jumped on the bed and accidentally busted them up, and then she was able to get away. That was the claim.
That sounds about right.
Okay.
But there's a who, right? Mm-hmm. So she says she's 100% sure it's him. There's no where.
But she doesn't remember where it was.
The address.
Just at some party.
We don't remember when, so there's no date. She's not
the 80s sometime, 37 years ago.
She knew the summer of. She had a general idea because she was swimming that day. She was a diver.
Yep.
And
I wouldn't probably remember the date either.
It makes perfectly good sense she wouldn't.
Yeah.
That's the problem, though.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that what she's saying is false.
Right.
I'm saying that this gets really murky. If you're asking me to decide as a senator sitting on the judicial panel, and I'm not, whether to give this guy the chop or not, I have to say, we have a system for making accusations in this country, and this is a really important accusation. This is a really important nomination, and I would have to hear something that sounded like evidence besides a testimony. I mean, that's what you've got, a testimony. This happened, but there's a lot of facts missing. In his case, he's given a lot of facts, and there's some level of contradiction to the facts that he's given. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you really have to be picking. But he said a lot more than she did, and that makes it difficult. This guy has his calendars from 1983. Like, as a high schooler, he's writing down what he does. Wow. And I believe him. He told this whole story about how his dad pulls out the calendars and looks through them at Christmas time, and we all chuckle and laugh about the things that happened throughout the year and in the past and all that stuff. And it's amazing. So, he can show, this is a party. Parties usually happen on weekends.
Yeah.
I was out of town on the weekends.
Right.
There's all kinds of things happening. You basically have to be saying, I think he's wrong because he's male, or I've heard about toxic masculinity, or he was a football player, or I don't like that he's a DC insider. And there's all these reasons why you would dislike him, but no good reason to say that he's guilty of this. And yes, I understand it's not a court of law. It's a job application. But if I was going for a job and somebody steps up and says, Mark gave me a swirly back in high school, I'd be like, I've never given anybody a swirly. in high school or any other time.
I did some things in high school that I would not have done today.
And that's another issue entirely, by the way, is like at what point do we allow for people to sort of grow up?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know the answer to that. As a guy who did some pretty terrible things in my youth and was sent to prison, I have to believe that there's an opportunity for redemption. And if there's not an opportunity for redemption, now he's not asking he's not asking for forgiveness for this, by the way. He's never said that. He said he's sorry for what happened to the lady, and
he's claiming he didn't do it. Right?
Well, he's sorry for what happened. I mean, like he's saying, I'm not saying that something didn't happen to her. I'm just saying it wasn't me.
It wasn't him. The toll-free number here tonight, and she admitted having a drink, correct? And he admitted drinking as well at parties?
He admitted to being a drinker. And
my God, this judge has just admitted to breaking the law. As a teenager.
Yeah, I'm not
Unless he was of the age
of
drinking at that time at a high school party.
He said that it was, but other people say it's not.
There's more coming up here in moments. This is Free Talk Live.
Zencash is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global.
Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening in your home anytime, anywhere. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Blink is an Amazon company.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses on the setup page, and then load the app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. AnyPay.global.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. SaveATPurse.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll free. You can bring up whatever is on your mind. Take control of the airwaves here. If you want, our number 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Whether you want to talk about the Cavanaugh hearings and the controversy behind that whole allegation versus counter-allegation, you're welcome to do that. We also talked a lot about zoning tonight and the just absolute destruction of the idea of property rights that essentially is the concept of zoning. So you can comment on any of those things or whatever happens to be on your mind at 855-450-FREE. Now, a lot of libertarians got to know Tom Woods during the Ron Paul campaigns of 2008 and 2012. Tom is a New York Times best-selling author. He's written over a dozen books, including The Politically Incorrect Guide to American History. Since September of 2013, Tom Woods has put out his own show, The Tom Woods Show, every single weekday. Which
great, too.
He's racked up over 1,200 episodes so far. His guests include folks like Ron Paul, Judge Andrew Napolitano, one of the few decent judges, David Stockman, and hundreds more, with topics like war, the Federal Reserve, net neutrality, the FDA, Austrian economics, and other subjects of interest to libertarians. You can find The Tom Woods Show online. Just go to tomwoods.com or search for Tom Woods Show in your favorite podcatcher. As we continue here to the phones, to the fun, Larry in South Carolina, listening to WTMA in Charleston. Go ahead, Larry.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Well, let me make a very brief remark
Sure.
about the Cavanaugh situation this past week, and I want to say that it is bizarre and horrendous because for the first thing, these were two teenagers who are below the age of majority and can't make any contracts or decisions or do anything.
Yeah.
And by the way, just to tell you this, Jets. I'm here in Charleston, you understand. We got the Air Force Base. Okay, but the situation is, if two teenagers, and even in some even worse circumstances, there have been people murdered by individuals who are below the age of majority, and then when they get to be 18, they expunge their record. There's nothing left.
I mean,
rare to expunge a murder? You mean?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty rare to
Yes,
expunge a
they
murder.
do.
I'm not saying
Yes,
they
they
haven't.
do.
Everything's happened in the course of human history. I certainly wouldn't claim that it hasn't.
No, Mark,
And these are, if the kid is 15, 16, something like that.
How old were they alleged to be? Because Mark, when I said they were drinking underage, you
15,
said that they may or may not have been. Hold on one moment, Larry. I'm just trying to clarify something. Mark, you were watching these hearings. What I had said there. Hang on, Larry. We'll bring you right back in here. I just want to get a bit
I think Larry might be. I don't have an answer for
But
it.
what you had said, Mark, what was confusing to me was I made the statement before we went to break earlier. I said, these people are admitting, this judge is admitting he had a drink underage, which is technically illegal to do.
He
And you
said that
sort
he
of
was 18.
equivocated about that.
Yeah, you're right. He said he was 18 at the time.
So would that have been at the time where the age of drinking may have actually been 18?
Or 17. God.
Well, it's never been 17.
Can I get back into this?
Yeah, go ahead, Larry.
He was 17 and
17.
she was 15.
Okay, so that's illegal.
they were
then. There's
both
never been a
below
time where it's been
the
legal in the
Well,
last
he
50
claimed
years.
the drinking was legal. I don't.
Nope.
I don't see how.
Not at 17.
It's not illegal. They had to be 18. I was up there and used to drink with all of them, and I'm telling you got to be 18.
Oh.
17 is too young. So he
No,
was
I'm
breaking
not saying
the
he
law.
shouldn't be able to drink. I think the age of consent, the age to buy alcohol, should be abolished and let the market decide how that works.
Well, that's what the law was then.
Yeah.
In the 80s, it was you had to be below. It was 18
Yeah.
to go to the Georgetown bars. and drink. You had to be 18. And so he wasn't there, and neither was she. They were both breaking the law in that respect.
Well, in the same way that I don't think that I don't think that him drinking underage should bar him from being a judge in the federal government.
I also don't think that if he was drinking that it makes a difference. Like, he's still responsible for his actions.
I'm not even trying to say that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that these were too juvenile. The people in our public schools are saying, well, they're going to do it anyway. We must give them birth control so they don't get pregnant, because they're going to do what they're going to do anyway.
They are, yeah.
And it's this permissive kind of society, and they were just doing whatever they were going to do.
You think this is a permissive society?
Well, I think the problem is the people.
No.
It's only permissive if you send your kids to public school.
I think that in a repressive, socially repressive environment, you have a higher likelihood of people acting out. If you look at the way American young people handle alcohol, they act out, they get really wasted, they tailgate, or they front load, or what do they call it, where they drink before they go to a thing.
Pre-game?
Pre-game, that's what it is. They pre-game, they show up drunk, to things. And then when you compare that to countries in which it is legal to, let's say, have some wine with your kids, or drink at home, kind of teach them responsibility with alcohol, rather than just say no. Because then, young people get into trouble because, well, guess what? They're going to do it anyway, and then they learn their habits from their other friends rather than learning, good habits of regulating the amount that you intake and stopping after a certain point. So, yeah, I would say it's a repressive society, not permissive.
The main thing I wanted to try to get across was that this whole thing is something that some teenagers did that should not occupy the attention of the nation.
I agree with that.
And spend a week of people who are the senators, who are getting hundreds of thousands of dollars from us, the poor beleaguered taxpayers, for doing this.
To sit around and act like they,
care.
Act like they are somehow better, or that they care.
They've shown they don't care.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if they cared, this would have been trotted out by Feinstein way early. But this was the 11th hour brought in by the senators. I'm not saying anything about Ford on this one, but it was brought in by...
Who's Ford? The alleged victim?
The alleged victim.
Okay.
It wasn't... She sent a letter. The senators, on the other hand, the Democratic senators, brought this in late, just to anything to back this up. They're like, please, for God's sakes, give us 2 more weeks.
I totally agree.
An FBI investigation. Let God come down. Anything. Just give us 2 more weeks.
I totally agree, Larry. Thank you for the call tonight. I absolutely agree that this is a tremendous waste of time, because ultimately it's just for politicians to grandstand. That's all this is, because if they do reject this guy, if they reject, all right, he's done for. Well, now they're just going to nominate somebody else.
Right.
And then this starts again? This whole thing?
There's 100 of them, just like Cavanaugh out there.
At least.
It doesn't make a difference whether Kavanaugh makes it or doesn't
make it. He's nobody. He's just another judge.
Right. And so to
he's
me,
the judge of the moment.
Meaningless. Yeah. There was a short list, right? That means that there were other people on the list.
You say it's meaningless, but you sat there and you watched it for hours.
Well, I find it meaningful.
My God.
The idea that you can accuse somebody with no proof besides testimony.
Yeah, that's concerning.
And just, I got enwrapped in it, and I wanted to see the people's faces. I wanted to hear what they said.
Yeah.
And I thought the testimony from both sides was convincing and professional and polished and all that stuff. I wouldn't besmirch either side, but if as a senator sitting there, I'd be like, well, I haven't seen a lot of evidence, and in the absence of evidence, I'm going to have to approve him.
We got more coming up. Your call's welcome. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Join us here on the radio on Free Talk Live, the live Saturday edition continuing 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Bacon lovers, we ship free. Try our amazing bacon. No refrigeration required. Proprietary value-added packaging provides 10-year shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Savory and delicious. Wholesale price for your everyday use. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. Readytoeatbacon.com. I'm David Hall, founder of Diamond Gusset, where we're proud of our 100% grown and sewn American-made jeans. Whether you're out for dinner, working on the farm, or on the road, Diamond Gusset Jeans offers a full spectrum of styles and sizes for any occasion. To find yours, visit gusset.com. That's GUSSET.com. Our loyal customers enable us to continue sponsoring Liberty media outlets like the one you're listening to. In Liberty, David Hall, Diamond Gusset Jean Company.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial on in here toll free. Bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. As we continue here, the live Saturday edition of the program, joining you, it's Ian.
And Mark.
Also, want to make sure you know about Anarchapulco, the best liberty-oriented event on the planet right now. It's Anarchapulco, and they took that crown, I would say, this year with what was an amazing event. Their 2018 event back in February where they had Ron Paul come and speak. They sold out what was a humongous event hall, the largest I've ever been in as far as, and look, I don't go to the 50,000 person video game, conventions. I've never been to a convention that big. But as far as libertarian events are concerned.
E3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was that like 100,000 people attend that? I don't know. Lots of people. There's a huge halls in Vegas.
Yeah.
But as far as Liberty conventions go, this one is humongous, and they sold out this year and for the first time. And it was a great event before that. But it's really the king right now, so you don't want to miss 2019. We had a lot of fun this year, as we do every year at Anarchapulco, and you're going to want to come in 2019. February 14th through the 17th. It's going to be a great lineup of speakers. Ron Paul is coming back, so if you feel like you missed out this year, he's back in 2019. Judge Napolitano going to be there for the first time, so that's a big one. To have both of those guys there at the same time, I mean, that's like a 1-2 punch of liberty right there. I mean, those guys are amazing, right? Judge Napolitano.
I can tell you don't rehearse these ads.
No, I sure don't. Doug Casey, Larkin Rose, and many others. I've heard David Icke is going to be attending, so we'll get to talk to him about space aliens or something if we get him on the show. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm not going to miss that opportunity.
It should be interesting because they've got all kinds of people there. Like, it's not just the suits. There's the hippies. There's the, crypto people. There's all kinds of...
it is a heck of a mix and a lot of fun.
And very international. People come from all over the world to go to Anarchapulco because, you know what? It's the middle of February, so there's a lot of people that want to get the heck out of where they are.
Mexico is a nice place to be in the middle of February.
Beautiful. Go to anarchapulco.com. Use code FTL when you get your tickets, and you'll save 15%. So lots of great topics, lots of people, and it's going to be bigger than ever. It's already on track, I would say, to sell out. They've already hit over 1,500 tickets sold, and that was a couple weeks ago, the last time we got numbers from them. So once again, anarchapulco.com. Mark your calendars now, February 14th through the 17th, and start planning, because we're looking forward to seeing you there. We'll be broadcasting Free Talk Live from the event. As we continue with your calls and thoughts, you can bring up anything you want. We've got Shelley calling from Antrim, New Hampshire. Shelley, how are you listening to the show tonight? I don't know if our board op asked you that.
Well, they did, and I honestly can't tell you because I was going through the stations, and I happened to hear your voices, and I thought, oh, an interesting show. Okay.
Cool. I didn't know we were on the radio up there. At least not that
I didn't either. That's why I can't tell you what station.
I wonder if it's coming over from WNTK out in New London. I guess that's sort of close.
It could.
Okay. Very good. So yeah, great station. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Okay. I think we all agree that this is not a trial.
It's not a trial.
Correct.
Okay. It's a job interview.
Yep.
And in my opinion, if I were interviewing this man and he blew his top the way he did, and he's supposed to have equanimity because he is a judge, and he has to be able to move out of his own head and pay attention to what's going on around him. I did not see that with Mr. Cavanaugh, with Judge Cavanaugh. He was rude to one of the female senators who asked him something about drinking, and he says, didn't answer the question. Go, you drink? Do you drink? I mean, it was like, excuse me? I thought I was listening to a junior high school kid. It really bothered me.
So you feel like this guy had an attitude. I didn't watch any of this. Mark, what do you think about this assessment here?
Yeah, so if you caught pieces of it, she's exactly right. Now, I
caught the whole thing.
Okay, so what I saw was a guy going from saying things like, I don't blame Ms. Blasey Ford. I understand. My heart goes out to her and her family, and saying things that are sounded right and that kind of thing. To other times, and he's in the midst of his speech, he's clearly projecting, as it were. He's raised his voice. There's no doubt. And then there's times when, and I don't know everything that's gone on between these senators and this committee. These guys have been interviewing him privately prior to this for a long period of time. So, I mean, he knows who the enemies are, right? There's 10 Democrats, 10 Republicans, and Jeff Flake. And basically,
isn't he a Republican too?
He is, but he was the one in the middle. No one had any doubts as to how 20 people were going to vote.
Okay.
It was one vote that hung in the middle here, and really the show was for Flake, ultimately. I mean, you could have gotten any one of these other people to flip, but likely they weren't going to. You could see Dick Durbin wasn't going to change his mind. You could see Graham wasn't going to change his mind.
Okay.
And so ultimately, he mostly got what he was wanting to get out of Flake, which was the vote. However, there's this now, instead of an FBI investigation, now there's going to be an abbreviated investigation. Everybody investigate, but investigate very quickly. But
you're not focusing on the job interview. You're focusing on, did he or didn't he?
But that's kind of the point. I mean, if you were going up for a job,
he was extremely rude to the senator.
Sure.
There were several sound bites which you could probably catch on other stations.
He could do anything he wanted to these the Democratic senators, because the Democrats are in the minority. He's trying to
but that's
impress Republicans.
not the point. No. I'm talking about a job interview with the American people. He was on display.
The American people have no control over this. I mean, you and I could do a better job of picking who's going to be on the Supreme Court right now. Like, I could call you back after the show gets off in 15 minutes. You and I could do a better job of picking a Supreme Court justice, but no one will ever ask us.
Well, I'm going to just guess here that some of the people on this panel were hostile towards these witnesses, right, towards this Cavanaugh guy.
You should have seen Durbin. It was awful.
Right? So, I mean, your typical job interview doesn't involve that level of hostility, right?
She never had a chance to, no.
The woman who questioned him was not rude.
Not at that time. I mean, we don't know what it was like in these...
but wait, wasn't there more than one person questioning him, or was it just
10 of them?
One woman?
Right. So, all the senators were.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. He was likely facing, again, I was just speculating here, and you confirmed my speculation that there were some very hostile people towards this person. That's not your typical job interview, right? Like, when you go in...
it's not the typical job.
Right.
This is for the Supreme Court justice. He needs to be of a different caliber. I just found he was... If I was doing it, which obviously I'm not, I would not put him in that position.
Well, whoever it is that
I would have never nominated him.
I mean, whoever it is that if they end up booting him, whoever it is that replaces him is going to be just as much of a scumbag because they're a federal judge. I mean, they're pretty much all trash.
I do have a friend who's a retired federal judge, and she's lovely. So they're not all scumbags.
Oh, I'm sure she's very lovely in her personal life, and all of these federal judges probably have families.
How many people who have not committed a crime against someone else, a victimless crime, has she sent to prison for?
Countless, I bet.
Countless years.
Well, this is a country where people keep saying, oh, we're a country of laws. And I'll believe that when we honor every treaty with the natives.
Agreed.
Thanks for the call, Shelley.
100%.
Yeah, good point there. It's not a country of laws. It's a country of men, and they rule over other men and women. Thank you for the call.
Yeah, Native Americans should have their own nations, at the very least, on the reservations that they have. I mean, they call them nations. They should be.
Meaning sovereign respect and letting them do whatever they want to do with their own land, so they can, not be told how to live by the Bureau of Indian Affairs.
Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. I agree.
No doubt about it. Toll-free number tonight, if you want to join us on the radio waves, you can do that. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And there's our Discord on-air call-in line rooms. Just head on over to discord.lrn.fm. Jump on in to one of those rooms. In fact, somebody's in one of them right now. And if you are on Discord, you will sound better. It is an instant upgrade to your call quality. Almost sounds like you're sitting in the studio with us. And don't forget, you can also watch us on Twitch. There's a Twitch chat room there, too, where some people hang out. Go to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. I actually played some Overwatch on our Twitch channel last night, so I spent a few hours doing something that was a waste as well. More coming up here in moments, but I don't know. It was fun. This is Free Talk Live.
This November, I'm running the New York City Marathon as a member of Team Innocence Project because I'm a passionate supporter of their work. 2018 has been a banner year for the Innocence Project. Since January, 9 of their clients have walked free. Innocent people who combined to serve more than 200 years in prison for crimes they did not commit. And because of the Innocence Project, the risk of being wrongfully convicted has been greatly reduced for millions of people. October 2nd is International Wrongful Conviction Day. It's an opportunity to draw attention to the countless innocent men and women who remain behind bars and the need to reform our broken criminal justice system to prevent wrongful convictions. At any given time, the Innocence Project represents 200 clients who need their help to prove their innocence. This year, the Innocence Project helped pass a first-in-the-nation prosecutorial oversight law in New York and eyewitness identification reforms in New Hampshire and Louisiana. You can help the Innocence Project by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com.
Ted Anderson telling you about Jordan Rubin's Beyond Organic Green-Fed Raw Cheddar Artesian Cheese featuring whole milk created through ancient dairy breeding, unpasteurized, untreated whole milk on the same farm the cows graze, containing natural sources of omega-3s, CLA protein, calcium, probiotics, and enzymes. I have never tasted cheese this good, and you need to try it. Contact your Youngevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, the Mineral Doctor. You've heard me talk about 90 for Life for years. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 fatty acids. You may not know this, that I've actually designed Arthrodex for animals. That's right. Your pets need 90 for Life too. Get this essential pet product by calling 877-279-9422. That's 877-279-9422. Again, 877-279-9422.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can dial toll-free to take control of the airwaves. Our number is 855-450-FREE, but if you're not on the line right now, well, the phones are loaded, so you're probably not getting in tonight. If you are on the line, we're going to do our best to get to you, but if you don't make it in tonight, don't you worry. We do this show 7 nights a week.
And if you feel like we're not on the topic that you want to talk about, don't you worry. It's called Free Talk Live. Call in. Tomorrow, the next day, whatever, if it's 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, we're on the air.
Yeah, I mean...
365 days a year.
Right, we were talking about zoning for most of the show, and then some guy called in about Cavanaugh, and now we're talking about Cavanaugh. So, like, you know, you can bring up whatever you want here, and that's how the show works. And just so you know, even though Saturday nights are usually pretty busy, last night, our Friday night show, we only had one call the whole damn time. It was Sarah in New Mexico.
You're on more than 100 stations on a Friday night.
Yeah, well, not all at once, but
you're right.
Some
it's
later.
Not necessarily 100 live stations, but 100 stations.
But still, yeah. So we've almost always got room for you. So feel free to call in any other night of the week.
You're not talking to us. You're talking to the ears of people listening to 100 radio stations across the U.S.
Correct. As we go to your calls and thoughts here,
I think.
By the way, I do want to make sure that you know about our email list. You can go to freetalklive.com. We got a sign-up box right there. In fact, I need to send one out this weekend. I didn't have time for it today, but I will get it out here at some point tonight or tomorrow. And we do usually about one email per week just to kind of keep you in the loop with what's going on with Free Talk Live. And you also get some news about LRN.FM. So we added a couple shows to LRN this week. So
the Liberty Radio Network.
Yeah, thank you. The Liberty Radio Network. So you can sign up for our email list over at freetalklive.com. You'll find the sign-up box right there toward the top middle area of the website. Should be pretty obvious. As we continue with your calls and thoughts. First up, he's Robert in Indianapolis listening to WIBC. Hello, Robert. Oh my God, I don't know what's going on there, but the board op had you turned up way too loud. I hope they have turned you down at this point,
Sounded like he was
Robert.
talking through a kazoo.
Jesus. Are you still there, Robert?
Jesus talking through a kazoo.
I got to keep phone. How's that?
Yeah, you're sounding better now.
Much
okay,
better.
Go ahead. Wow. I'm sorry to anybody out there that's had permanent hearing damage. Go ahead.
Hey, real quick. Who decided and why that 9 people in black robes are going to decide how we're going to live, and they can't agree on what color the sky is?
Yep.
It's always 5-4 when they make a major decision. It's 5-4. In a regular trial, it's unanimous. Why?
Right, and don't forget the times when they've reversed themselves as well. So they've made completely different decisions over time.
I want term limits. There's term limits on everybody except these judges. Do you have a lifetime job? Screw them. They're no more intelligent than you are.
No doubt.
They're human beings. They can't agree on what color the sky is. The sky is black right now. Sometimes it's gray, sometimes it's blue. They can't agree on crap. I want them out.
I love this guy.
After 8 years, you're done.
How about no court whatsoever? How about we get rid of the federal government? How about that one?
Oh, you got to have a trial. I don't care if you're back in caveman days when you have a tribe. You go on trial when you break the law. You got to have a trial.
Yeah, but I mean, no court, no Supreme Court. How
Trials don't even exist anymore, though. I mean, seriously.
But there's going to be term limits. I want the Supreme Court to agree. It's going to be unanimous, just like on any regular trial.
So it should be 9-0 is what you're saying on every case if they want to. That's interesting.
I think that's
not
fair.
5-4.
Yeah.
Coach not go on trial for murder or rape and have 7 out of 5 say you're guilty.
Yeah, it's not enough. That's not enough. You got to have all 12. Good call. He hung up, but great call. I appreciate the sentiment, and it's not a bad idea, honestly. I can't disagree with anything.
I kind of feel like Congress shouldn't be able to pass things with 50% plus 1 either.
Sure.
That it should be something like
90%.
I mean, really, if you've got a whole bunch of lawyers in a room to decide what's right and wrong, and that's what laws are, right? Presumably, it's what's right and what's wrong. You should be able. They should be able to agree at some percentage. 75. I say 75% of them should agree to vote a law into an action, and then 50% of them can undo it.
It's a mistake to believe that laws are what's right and what's wrong, Mark. That's part of what has created such
It'd
ignorance.
be a hell of a lot closer if they had to come to 75% agreement.
But laws in a lot of cases are just strict obedience. I mean, it's just do what we say. We talked earlier about the zoning. There's no, that's not right or wrong, how you want to have your potty set up at your house. There's different opinions about, how those things should go. But
it is wrong if your effluence goes off of your property and pollutes somebody's lake or something.
Sure. We're not talking about that, though. We're talking about generally the fact that laws, for the most part, are just opinions backed by guns, and they have nothing whatsoever to do with what's right and what's wrong. Look at all the different laws that have existed over time that have been overturned because, society changed its mind about things like chattel slavery or, you fill in the blank, the Jim Crow laws or whatever. Let's continue, though, with your calls and thoughts. First up, we got Scott. He's in Indianapolis listening to WIBC. Go ahead, Scott.
I was just a little bit puzzled by the lady who called a while ago saying she thought, that Judge Kavanaugh was being rude. I'll go, well, you do know that these senators aren't trying to just defeat his nomination. They're trying to actually destroy the man's life. They're not content to just say, well, we'll just vote him down and that's that. What they want to do is make it so that his reputation is permanently scarred. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, what is he supposed to be, like Kevin Bacon in Animal House, where he's, with Niedermeyer behind him with the paddle, bellowing out, "Thank you, sir, I have another with each SWAT." I don't get this. I don't understand it because
I will agree with her that the optics weren't great in that instance that she's referring to. However, I will agree with you that this lady, no matter what it looked like she might be doing, was attempting to ruin this guy's life. And if this is about the Year of the Woman or anything like that, don't forget his wife was sitting behind there. Everything they do to Kavanaugh, they do to that family. And I don't particularly want this guy to get in. I'm not saying that. But I am saying, however, that if you make an accusation against somebody, and I realize this is not a court of law, but we have systems for accusations in this country, and that they've developed over the course of 9,000 years. There's 1,000 years of English common law for a reason, and that's because you can't just walk in, say something happened, and expect to be believed.
Exactly. Well, if this is what gets me, and why people hate politicians so much. They behave in a way that would get any other person's entire property taken away with a libel suit. No ordinary person would even, decent people would even think to do this. But if you did, you would have your house taken away. They'd take everything away from you in a libel suit. Politicians do it, and they get congratulated for it.
Well, in the case of politicians, they're not as protected from libel as the average person. There's a different tier, basically, of protection for people who are public personas.
Well, yeah, but they go after them with this sort of backhanded stuff. So when Durbin's telling the guy to turn around and ask the FBI, demand that the FBI investigate you. Well, yeah, I mean, that's a good idea.
Scott, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Let's continue. As we continue, we got Sherry in Texas listening to KTFS down there in Texarkana. Go ahead, Sherry.
Hey, I'm upset about that lady's call.
Okay.
First of all, if somebody was accusing me and putting my family through that hell, she'd be lucky I was rude to her.
Yeah.
And second of all, I'm tired of women being victimized. This woman worked at the college with the CIA. That woman could probably kick my ass, and she's up there talking like a little girl. Come on.
Well, I mean, she may have not been I don't know if she's a black belt or whatever her deal is, but she may not have been as able to kick an ass back when she was 17 or whatever. I mean, I don't know what happened.
No, not her. Not her. Well, yes, her.
Which woman?
Her. You're right. But I'm talking at 17, but see, CIA, she would know how to go about getting all this checked out. The police weren't
Who's
ever
the CIA?
called.
I missed that detail. Who's the CIA person that you're talking about?
Who's the CIA person?
Yeah.
The lady we're talking about.
Okay, she knows the CIA, you're saying?
Yes, her dad is a CIA agent.
I see. Okay, gotcha.
And her brother, and I mean, come on.
Then she should have gotten this taken care of back in the 1980s. She should have gone to Dad if something happened and had Daddy take care of that situation, because I imagine he would have had the connections.
You want to tell me you want to wait all these years and then pounce on this man?
Yeah, it's awfully opportunistic.
I'm not all into this stuff either, but this is wrong.
Sherry, thanks for your call tonight. I appreciate your thoughts. Let's go quickly to John in Indianapolis. John, go ahead with your thoughts. You don't have a whole lot of time, but I wanted to get you in here. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, guys, I was calling on the zoning question.
Yes, sir.
I built this house in 83. Me and 5 young guys that were just getting started as carpenters. We built a decent house in 83 with no permits, nothing.
Nice.
And it worked out fine, and they've never had any problem charging me taxes on it and appraising it for a lot more than what it cost us to build it.
Yeah.
And
hopefully they don't recognize your voice, John, and start coming after you now. 35 years.
I don't even care if they do, because I'll fight that.
Good for you, man. Good for you. I appreciate the call. We're out of time. I appreciate hearing from you tonight. If you didn't get in, like I said, we're here tomorrow. So you can join us then. Mark, you'll be heading up the Sunday night shows you usually do over at freetalklive.com. If you don't get us on your local radio station, you can always call, talk to the program director during the week, tell them thanks for airing us and that you want to hear more Free Talk Live. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for the weekend of September 29th and 30th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.